poverty. Your schools are no good. You have no jobs. 58% of your youth is unemployed. What the hell do you have to lose?
Tabisha Domunique.
We woke.
What do you have to lose? You're living in poverty. Your schools are no good. You have no jobs. 58% of your youth is unemployed. What the hell do you have to lose?
Tabisha Domunique.
We woke.
What do you have to
Dang.
Hello,
That came
hello.
off twice, didn't it, sis? That was special. That says
What they got to lose, though? What they got to lose? You know what I'm saying?
We woke. We woke.
Are we woke?
I
Well,
don't
we
know.
blessed. We blessed to be woke in the land of the living at this point right now. You know what I'm saying? Tomorrow ain't promised to nobody. So just to recap, hello everybody. I am Tabisha Domunique. And let's recap in case you didn't join me last week. We spoke about being human and how close we are to being animals, not too far, as we spoke about the way we eat, the way we express our anger, the way we have sex, and the way we act on several occasions, all resemble animalism. All right, so we're not that far off. And we spoke about being human as far as being aliens, the definition of an alien. Nobody really knows that because we've been taught that we're human and humans are supposed to be a great thing. But if we look on the internet, we see that everybody don't express the true definition of being human. And if you're going through anything in your life, you don't feel human. You feel like a monster, a beast, an animal. Heartbreak makes you not feel human. You know what I'm saying? You want to hurt somebody. And being robbed make you not feel human. Okay? You want to hurt somebody. So that's just a recap. Now, what we want to talk about this week is I can come on here and the other podcasters and everybody on the news and tell you about CERN, tell you about the government, tell you about the poison that's in the air, tell you about everything that's going on with us, with our bodies, what the masses is doing to us. But we need to start discussing the solution because only the strong survive. And there's a reason why the words say 10,000 may fall at your side and another 10 at your feet, because it's going to be a lot that won't be able to survive. They're not surviving now. So how are we going to be a survivor? How are we going to be able to accomplish being survivors? Okay. Now, 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 8, being sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, like a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. With everything that's going on in the world, it's not so easy to be sober. And being vigilant is really trying to keep a peace of mind, because I can't see if I'm tripping myself. I can't see nothing except the problem that I'm dealing with. You got aches and pains in your body. You can't see nothing else that's going on in the world. You can't see the extra bodies that's walking around on the side of you, in front of you, or the things that's hanging around you. All you're thinking about is I'm aching, I'm hurting. Okay? So how do we come up with a solution? It appears that the masses have went through extreme measures over centuries in order to pull the wool over our eyes. So that leads me to believe that quite possibly we have the skills to achieve great things together as far as being on the survivor list. So we need to put those minds together and stop worrying about how big that ass is and, you know, what to smoke, what to drink, the stupid stuff that's put in front of us, that's told to keep us calm and soothing. Because it's not a time to be calm. It's a time to be upset. It's a time to be alert. And it's a time to work together on solutions to being a survivor. You don't have to pay attention to the news, fake news, as we know, to understand that when I say slave, I use that word freely because everybody is a slave. We've been slaves. And even the Igors. And if you're not familiar with the term Igor, I have kids, I watch cartoons, but Igor is the little henchman that do all the dirty work for the master scientists. So you got the Igors out there that's doing the dirty work, that's been promised a position in the new world. They lie. They'll be in the slave hump just with us, right alongside of us. They lie. They got played. But everybody's working really hard and you're trying to achieve big goals. And you'd be devastated to find out that a lot of that don't fit into the new plan. Now, if you look on YouTube, and I don't have it prepared this week, but if you like next week, let me know what you need, what you want to see, and I'll bring it forth for you. You'll see the description and all the plans, the video of the new world. And you'll realize how much you don't fit in that plan. You don't fit in the self-flying jets. You don't fit in the world where you don't need money or anything because you'll be using the chip that's in your body and the ride will be outside for you. No one will be driving the ride because you'll only be going to certain places. You'll just let the driver know where you're going. You'll yell out, I'm going such and such. And when you walk outside, the ride will be there. So it's a whole plan that you'll notice 90% of us do not fit. Now, even the ones that made it to, a couple of 300 million, you would think that they'll be there. They're in position. No, they're not in position either. So, if you got like 3 to 5 million and you thinking that solidifies your position in the new world, you'd be wrong. It's not so much as money as it is bloodline. And the majority of our bloodlines don't match with the new world. So your money can't help you. And the guns, as many guns as you have, you can't even use guns to fight the terror that we're dealing with right now. The guns don't help. If you think that weapons is what you need to fight the terror that we're dealing with when they walking through walls, then you are sadly mistaken. But, hey, I'm just cheese on the cracker. You don't have to listen to me. But what I am here for is to inform you that it's time that you take a minute and look around. That's all you have to do. It's there in your face. All you have to do is be vigilant and mindful of your surroundings. If you notice the birds don't even chirp the same. Honestly, no joke, every morning the birds sound like they saying Beetlejuice, 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 like they call him Beetlejuice. They don't even chirp no more. It's like, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. The birds don't chirp. They're calling out Beetlejuice. They're not chirping. And they're chirping all night. Whenever did the birds never sleep? The birds are security guards. When did they never sleep? They're like security. Look around. If you look around in the trees, that's not bird nests. They look like bird nests are wrapped around the trees. It's like a whole face in the tree. The whole world is like a big surveillance camera. And you know, your computers, your copy machines, all of your, what do you call that? Smoke alarms, your microwaves, any technology in your house, your smart TVs, everything is just surveillance. Our whole life is under surveillance. For what? Just to get to know us for the complete transformation. For you to be switched up, switched out, and switched on to the next era. Now, I'm part of the watchers. I've been watching now almost going on 3 years, only because the Lord allowed me to be woke up by a vicious attack, because I was interacting in the devil's den and I was so close to it that I couldn't see anything. But once I had to sit back and open my eyes, because at 1 minute I had a choice to be made. It was either life or death. And by the grace of God, I chose life. And he allowed me to be here to share this with you. Now, the action right now is communication. And I can't say this enough. When the pandemic came, that was one of the major reasons why I feel that the communication was cut off. Why, in such a time when you got people dying by the handful, were we told not to gather? Because there are strength in numbers. And gathering together would allow us to communicate with one another, would allow us to compare notes with one another, and possibly be able to rig up a solution to deal with the things that are in our bodies, that's in our environment, and possibly how to survive this attack. Now, it's been going on for centuries, but as you see now, it's coming down to the ringer. Meaning, these movies, that was just a setup for us slaves. And you don't want to look at yourself like that. But if you don't have the bloodline and you're not making the big moves, then you're a worker. So stand up to it, face the fact. You're a worker, okay? That was just to get you trained for what's to come. With technology and with all the sensors and the programming that's set up all around the universe, at any time when that button is pushed, it's going to be a massive freak show. And the only thing that you will have to think about this is the structure of the Bible you was given. I've been looking at the Torah, the Quran, you know what I'm saying? We have to seek and ye shall find, because nothing has ever been that easy. You understand? So now this is my opinion, in which, as I said, I've been a watcher for a minute. I had no choice. There was nothing else I could do but watch and pray and work on different teas, different medicines that I make to try to heal myself. There was nothing else. I couldn't trust being at the doctor's office, you know, because now the numbers are up. They still getting paid on coronavirus patients. And once they said nobody could go to the doctor with me, then that was just, you know, something that I wasn't interested in. That was creepy to me. So that means that I have to trust everything you say and that there's no witnesses anymore. Nobody's standing next to you to be able to say, no, she didn't look like that. So I had to start making medicine and sneaking the medicine to my kids, by prepping our food, which we know that stuff been in our food for years and everybody talk about it. I see everything on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, on Rumble, on different platforms. All I see is conversation about what's being done to us, what's being thrown from the sky, what's being put in the food, how we got played on the bottled water, and I'm still a fool of the bottled water. I'm still a fool on a lot. It's a lot that I am having a problem letting go, like beef. Even though I keep going through steaks like it's a pair of socks because they all taste different. And I know it's fake. And I'm still having a problem letting go of beef, even the fake beef. So I'm working on that. But how are we going to come up with a solution? All of us together, we can do this. We can do this. You got people, if you're listening to the sound of my voice right now, then you have the ability to make a difference. God is not done with you yet. It's too many people that cannot hear the sound of my voice because they don't have the gift of breath. So they are unable to create a change. They are unable to make a move for improvement or to secure their position anywhere because they're not breathing. If you have the gift of breath, we have the ability to change the dynamics. We are crafty enough. It's not about just being smart. You have to be crafty. We have to think outside the box. I cannot stress enough. The thing that keeps me going is the fact that some deep thinking and crafty work was put into this buffoonery in order to play games with people's lives. Why? Being that you have power and technology, you could just come in and take everybody out at one time if you like. But if somebody's getting off on playing games with people's lives, it's a couple of people that's getting off by this. And so we need to stop that orgasm. You understand what I'm saying? We need to kill the little sick orgasm that they're having, playing mind games with our lives, with our families' lives, with our well-being. And in order to do that, we have to come together. There is nobody that's worthless other than somebody that's not understanding that this is not a game. We have to figure out how to survive. You can't hide underground. You can't go grab a place in the mountains and wait for the smoke to clear and then come back out and think that you're going to be part of civilization. We have to make a major move in a crafty way to work on our survival. And if not the survival, then the future of our kids. Will they be in the future? What type of future is there for us if we just continue to go along with the song and dance? What is going to happen to us? Don't you feel that it's just a bit structured to the point that this cannot possibly be God's plan? You don't feel in your life that the things that you're doing could not possibly be what life is about. There's no way. This world is too big and too beautiful. Even just travel. Was it meant just for you to sightsee so you can die with those memories? Are you going to any of these places that you're traveling to make a difference? To bring back something for others that can't see? Are you bringing back any material for us to learn from? Any survival techniques that possibly they do in the countries that you visit to help us here? Or is it just to brag over the fact that you've been there and you've seen it and you're going to die with that memory? Because a lot of things are confusing to me and understanding the structured lifestyle. As I said, the holidays are intended to train us with emotional ups and downs. We discussed the birthdays, Christmas, the Easter, the Mother's Day, the Father's Day, the things that make you have to produce a gift for that person, or to be in competition with your siblings or other family members. Because even though your parents, your family, your friends use the word love loosely, when it comes to holidays where they're supposed to exchange gifts, that love word is kind of put to the left side. And it controls other people's emotions. It does. How are we going to break the cycle, people? Can we break the cycle? I don't think we could do it. It's doable. But I don't think it's enough people willing to do it. Thirsty. I really don't. I've been working with my family, and all it takes is one. All it takes is one person to stand up and make a difference. Do you know how much power we all have, of all nationalities, with this economy? If we stop foolishly spending money, do you honestly realize how much power we have in this economy? If we stopped, what's the next holiday? I guess the next major holiday would be Thanksgiving. Okay? And we know what a lot of cultures experience during Thanksgiving. Now, you got grandmothers and mothers that buy tablecloths. You got the harvest decorations. And you have turkeys, major food. Want to feed people. They can starve all year. But Thanksgiving, folks want to pass out turkeys and feed people. But all year they starve. If we just took Thanksgiving or back to school. And it's not about the people that don't have it. It's about everybody. Even the folks that have it. It's about everybody. Holding in that dollar. Stop buying all them damn turkeys. Take a stand on these food prices. Everybody's fairly big. We fat. It's a lot of fat people. And it's a lot of skinny people that eat a lot. Let's fall back on the spending. It'll help our health. It'll help our pockets. It'll allow us to see the power that we have as a people. We have a lot of power. If we didn't have the power, then the extreme measures would not be so in order to pull the wool over our eyes. Psalms 119, verse 130. The entrance of the words giveth light. It giveth understanding unto the simple. We all fall short of the glory. And at this time, I'm sorry to say, I love you. And just as I had to get my feelings hurt to wake up, I'm going to have to do the same to you. A lot of us are acting very simple at this time. I need you to leave a comment. Check out your surrounding for the rest of the week. Look into the trees. Check out the bird nest. Check out the branches. Listen late night and see if the bird sound like it's chirping or if it's calling Beetlejuice. Okay? Because my birds over here be talking about Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. They don't chirp. They call him Beetlejuice. All right? Look around your surroundings. Check out the people that's checking you out. You know what I like to do? I'll be messing with people. I'll be messing with the sensors that's in our bodies. Because people have to stand right in a certain line of view and everything. I don't know what level everybody is on. So I kind of mess with them when I'm out and about. And I'll move to the left. And you'll notice that it'll move to the right. And if you are part of the woke and you're not already compromised, then you'll notice that it's kind of like aliens. I really don't know, but they get uncomfortable. And they'll do everything in their power to move, to be directly in your path. I mean, directly in your path. When I move to the left, they'll move to the right. Sometimes I'll bend over and I'll go to the side. I'll just continuously move about in a circle just so I can watch the other people move. Because some people are just totally compromised. I mean, they're already there. And I suppose the Lord didn't allow me to be all the way there yet, or at all, just to be a messenger. You know, because I'm surrounded by it every day, even with my kids. It's irritating and hurtful to have to watch them as they do little things with their hands. Little signals. Movement. Not regular. Just pay attention to your surroundings. This is nothing new. It's just that I'm sober and vigilant of my surroundings for the first time in decades. So I notice things that's been happening for decades. And like I said, quite possibly just to pass the message to you. So if you've already taken time to check your surroundings, or you notice that possibly something is different in the universe, then leave a comment. If you are part of the woke family and you'd like to work on holding your dollars and coming together, understanding that it's power in numbers, leave a comment. Let's strengthen one another. If you are part of the woke family and interested in coming together and being the ones standing from the tens of thousands that will be laying down, leave a comment. Let's get together. It's power in numbers. And we're not going to survive just talking about what the masses doing. We got chemtrails, they dropping this, they doing that. Okay. What's the next move? That's what I want to put on your mind today. What's the next move? With everything that you notice, we could talk about this until that button get pushed. But what's the next move? Can you hear me loud and clear, D?
Of course I can. I mean, dad, girl, these people need to learn. You got to work together. You got to be family. Look, we all part of humanity. What the hell y'all doing trying to divide us? Look, last night on the show, we were talking about with Rowena how the WEF is trying to take over everything. We supposed to be family, not them. We, humanity, family, not the rich, the powerful, those people that are trying to take over the world. We are family. We are all what? Children of the God. Guess what? Are we going to let these people take over our world, take over our thoughts, take over our food, take over our children, take over our land, take over? You got me twisted. People wait now. Up! I bit my tongue. You knew I was almost ready to say it, girl. You knew I was that what I was getting ready to do.
Well, don't forget to take away our bodies.
Oh, of course, they've already done that.
Because if you're not vigilant of any transformations or changes going on in your body, I mean, it's a book that's out that talks about Morgellons and the New World Order and the different transformations that people's bodies have endured. And it's a couple of groups on Facebook that I'm with the transformation of different things in our bodies from our food. But if we're not communicating, if we're antisocial and we're not trying to come up with solutions, everybody is important. Everybody is able. Even just the old lady that sit at home all day, that look out the window, she got some information to put in to what's going on for the other folks to be able to put the pieces together, because it's a reason why they're going through so much to keep us divided and for us not to come together. It's a reason. We obviously able to come up with a solution to be standing as far as the survivors. We got to be able to. We have to be able to.
Listen,
okay?
we gotta wake up. We gotta get woke. We woke people, and we're not letting these people take over our bodies, sell our body parts. Yeah, what did I just say? Sell our body parts. Listen, go into surgery and come out without a kidney.
Keep an eye on your kids. Too many people got their kids still going to the parks alone. You know, got their babies outside thinking it's okay, thinking the world that opened back up. The world did not open back up. Protect your family, protect yourself, be sober and vigilant. It's a way that you do everything. And if you do decide to take part in extracurricular activities, wait till the kids at home in the bed. Don't be toe up and drunk and the kids outside.
Well, you know
I'm
something.
not judging nobody.
You know something. Let's get worse than that. Okay, let's take it one step further. We got parents that are sitting out there watching them, and not even realizing that these people are poking their kids with needles. They are not sitting. They're sitting there pulling their kids' hair, getting some DNA. You know, the problem that we have as humans is that we're too trusting of the system. The system is not for you. The system is against you.
Pretty face. We trust in handsome and beautiful people, clean dress, and money.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
yes, you
And
do.
we fools to all of that. You know, and in the word it speak about if somebody came all clean and nice and dressed and asked for a glass of water, you'll invite them in and say, sure, you know, they got money. They looking good. They smelling good. Come get a glass of water. But the bum that come to the door smelly, no money, dusty, asks for water, and you have him stand outside. And that same beautiful person that you invited in the house was the devil. And he can only come in if you invite him. In which he was smelling good, he was looking good. So what'd you do? You invited him in. And you let
Vampires.
the angel outside because he didn't look the part. We so thirsty. We so thirsty for, you know, acceptance from other people. And that's what got us set up. That's what turned us into slaves. You got people right now, all those videos. I seen a girl that was sitting there so beautiful on her 18th birthday, wanted the man to pay for her and 19 other friends to eat. And he said no. And she said, nobody don't want no broke man. Now, I feel like nobody don't want no
hell,
broke man.
you know
But that's
something,
what
hell
happened
to the
man
no.
before your birthday. Did you tell him in advance that you had 19 friends that expected him to pay for dinner for? No, that was thrown in there. You didn't tell him in advance. So what? Because she was a beautiful young lady, nice, 18, you know, they didn't show nobody else stepping up and paying.
Little
But,
fresh thing, huh?
but I know as a woman how we do tend to, you know, the devil is male, female, all nationalities. And on occasions, as women, we do get, just like men, you know, you got some pretty-eyed men out there, a nice smile. You got mean women that don't get no love, and a man come and give her a couple compliments and everything. He in front of the line. How you make it in
And
front of the
ready
line?
to get
in DMV?
used. And ready to get used.
You know what I'm saying? So a lot of us everybody want to feel special. Everybody want to feel special. We too thirsty for a Coke and a smile, and we need to stop that bull crap and wake up. We need to stop, okay? Don't let a pretty face, a handsome face fool you, because that's why you invite them in, and then you get stories about him touching the kids. You didn't know nothing about this man. You didn't move him and his whole damn family in. You never met him. You met him online. Knew him for a week, and he was living in your house. You didn't know him from Adam.
And here he comes, destroying your entire living existence. Don't care about you. Don't care about your family. Don't care about the sun or the moon, whether it rises or falls upon you. And guess what else is last thing he's going to do? Stepping stone.
Well, because he's seen that you was thirsty. It's too many.
Hold on. You said the word. You're thirsty. Go ahead. Come on. Say it with the southern accent. You thirsty.
You thirsty. You thirsty. He said you was thirsty. You know, I've been thirsty before, so I know what the thirst is like. Okay? It ain't cool. It could be destructive. And when you out there in the world, it can take you down. You can't see what's going on around you. Like I keep saying, while you sitting there thirsty and high, It's Power Rangers that's assembling all around you. Okay? And if you know anything about the Power Rangers, it don't take for a minute for them to assemble.
They ready and they trying to get some of that juice.
Man, you step outside and they done already created a whole new world. Now I be outside with my lighter testing the theory. I keep telling you, I seen the wave in the air. I seen the wave in the air. And I ain't talking about the gases. Those shows I keep telling the kids, you know, those TV shows and those movies, that's just the tester points so that when the big boom comes, folks that have something to compare it to, like, oh, this just like that movie, you know, with all the animation and all the technology. If you look at all the technology in Tijuana and everything, and Taiwan, I mean, Tijuana, San Diego.
Tijuana.
And Taiwan, you know, it seems like it's coming right at you, every 3D in large form. Because, like I said, I've been reading the Quran and the Torah because I read my Bible. And, you know, like you said, it's relatable. But I don't believe everything is 100%. You have to be able to seek. That's why the Father says, seek and ye shall find. Because when they put on this show, I believe they're going to put on the show of your life. And they done already set the screen.
They made it R-rated, baby. Rated R superstar.
They going to set the show up, boy. Stuff going to be flying from the air. It's going to seem like, boy, going to be flying. Everything that's in the back of that Bible is already set up on play. They're going to push the play, and you're going to see something flying from the cloud. And you're going to be like, Jesus, stop. Okay? Just stop. Just quit it. Because I just don't see everything panning out just like it was written, just like that, when you got all these games being played. And like the Father said, no man will know the time, the place, or nothing. So how is it, you know, it's too conflicting when it say God is not a God of confusion. Then why is it that I should be able to get 3 minister, pastors, bishop, or whoever that study King James and put them all in the same room and they all agree on the same thing for the same verse?
You can't get nobody to agree. Come on now. You listen, they all want your money. They all want to have you jimmy jam down to the side of the pulpit where you can sit there and have a conversation while you're on your knees praying. Yeah, baby, on your knees praying. They ain't going to do it.
The pastors in there. So that's why I say you have to study your word, but you have to pray for a discerning spirit, because the word, it did calm me. It did help me. But it also made me want to seek knowledge in other places for understanding. Because if it says that the Lord is not a God of confusion, then why is it that the preachers of his word cannot come together for one verse and give me the same definition? That make me want to think what's going on. Because if God is not a God of confusion, then why the hell this one verse, the 3 of y'all study it, and each one of y'all got a different definition, and you got an explanation on why that definition is. So I'm not tearing you away from anything. I'm saying, seek and ye shall find. Each one of these books, your Bible, the Quran, the Torah, you know, they all have valuable information. You have to be smart enough and understand and know that God is inside of each one of us. And so if we come together and change the frequency of the things that's going on, then we can accomplish big things. That's why the pandemic provided separation. No gathering. Why would you say no gathering? Oh, right, for the spread of coronavirus.
Nah.
But now everything wide open. No, it wasn't about spreading nothing. It was about divide and conquer. As always, as everything that's going on, divide and conquer. So, you know, you either come together And we figure out, and this ain't nothing that we need to think about. These moves need to be made ASAP. Things is, is moving. Things is moving. They didn't open up the world just for everybody to be happy and jolly. They opened up the world so you could think everything was cool so they could come in for the kill. And they know just where to find you. At the party. Everybody in one spot.
That's right.
So they don't gotta search for you. They could just drop that bomb right there. Don't be crazy. And now the schools, my son fighting me about why I can't go to school. I cannot take home school no more. The schools, to me, is like a jail. They close the door. I got to get permission to come in there to get you. Hell no. I'm not finna take time to where you get to tell me, oh no, you got to wait a minute. You can't get them right now. Oh no.
You can't pick up your own child. Oh, when you ready, on your time, when you want that child that you birthed, you spit out. You got it messed up, sister. Come on now. You know something? I dare your ass to tell me I can't talk to my child, get my child out of a classroom, or drag my child out the school.
And then you don't know what they doing in there. You don't know about what they spread in the food. You don't know about the food.
The food, shit. You know what the food is about. It's trying to get you programmed, get you in that zone. You know what I mean?
Every time my kids went to school, they came back worse than they left.
Or spaced out.
I don't even know if these my kids right now. I don't know if they mine or they clone. I don't know what the hell going on. One minute they seem like they mine. The next minute they seem like they programmed. I'm confused. I ain't gonna lie. It depends on if it's a full moon, they'll nut up on me. And the next day they'll wake up like, oh, Mom, I apologize. I was going through some things. Like, damn, how long you gonna be going through some things? I don't even have time to go through no things.
I've been going through too many things. I've been going through too many things. And now I'm watching you go through some things, and your things are affecting my things, so I'm adding up new things. And guess what? Time somebody get the hell out of my damn house.
They going through things. I feel like the kid in here. I feel like the kid in here, they running me. They done dressed me from head to toe with the glasses on. They got the food laid out. But, I got all boys. And
well, you know how boys are.
Maybe that's that I guess. I don't know.
Well, but, sometimes you feel like a nut. Sometimes you don't.
Shut up.
Die there. I'm sorry, but boys are a little different. But boys that like a fool in the house, that they commanding, taking over. I mean, you haven't got enough wisdom, knowledge, or understanding, or time underneath your belt as a living species, part of the species, in order to guide someone that's old school, that's been there, done that, danced it, and sang the music with it.
Well, I'm working on it. You know what I'm saying? Ever since I stopped smoking, it's been a difficult task. I ain't gonna lie. It's doable, but it's difficult.
But it feels good to have protectors, though, doesn't it?
But it's doable. Uh-huh. It's doable, but it's difficult. It is doable, but it's difficult. But then they be behind me all the time, Hey, Mom, what you doing? Hey, Mom, who you talking to? Like, it's like they don't even want me to get back in the dating game. I don't understand what's going on.
Well, maybe it's their way of saying you need some more time.
No, they need some more time.
We all need a release, you know what I mean? A little release. But.
Well, you know what? I'm chilling, I'm learning, and I'm investigating. I'm doing my job. Because I'm a little clingy. I'm a little crazy. You know what I'm saying? And I'm working on that because the world is crazy. You know what I'm saying? And the last time I got caught up, I did lose my mind. I set it off for a couple of years. I set it off. So I guess they just, don't know when the next big boom coming. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. Just like that happened with me, and it was a family thing. This is a worldly boom that we're trying to get a hold of.
What I'm going to say is, when it comes to the world, I'm going to go with the Penny Bradley way of saying it. I want to be nice to people. I really do. But some of these motherfuckers are pushing it.
Yeah, they do all push it, but I mean, it does seem like something happened. Real talk, to the universe, to a lot of people. Like when I go to the store, it is like either the Matrix or some type of alien invasion, because I'm telling you, the way they move, it's like when I walk in, I swear everybody's like frozen. And then they start moving in a certain direction. I've actually started sitting car watching. I started sitting car watching, tripping off the paranormal and the Matrix, to where I can be able to say what color car is coming down the street next. Where, and I do it according to, I'm a hairstylist, according to the color scheme of hair. So if a white car comes, then I know that the next one is going to be like a beige, a brown, and then always black and red come together. And it's crazy. And I'm sitting there like, hell no. Now, what the hell is going on? I'm able to be like, all right, a red car is finna come next. A black car is finna come next. Maybe a brown car. So now I'm playing with traffic. You know what I'm saying? Something. I find myself playing with traffic. Something got to give. But I'm working on it. The wine just put me to sleep. So that's not cool no more. And I don't want to be one of the statistics. I don't want to be one of the ones laying down. So that's why I need y'all to call in, leave messages, pay attention to your surroundings, look at your trees, look in the windows all different times. Just stare up at the sky. See if you see anything different. It's something going on in the universe.
Well,
and we need to be vigilant.
I got something to say. There are a lot of strange things going on in the universe. I mean, you can see it in the clouds, to be honest. Even though I never admit this out loud. Shut up! I'll never admit it. That there are a lot of figures out there in the clouds that dog is on some serious shit.
I thought I was the only one. You seen like different, it do look like figures in the clouds, huh? Look like it's a party in the clouds.
Hold on, let me get up for a second. Hey, boys, go let us sit down. Clear. All dogs, get out this room.
It do appear to be a party going on in the clouds, but I've been seeing that since coronavirus.
Tell her about the figures in the clouds.
It's not figures, it's beings.
Go, get over there and talk. You gonna sit here and talk to me?
What? Who was that trying to talk from the back door?
To talk on the air.
Shit, I'm cooking.
I'm cooking. You've been out of work.
No, I'm cooking because I put the breakfast for dinner on that was in the refrigerator.
Oh, see, now people want to make excuses for not hopping on.
I'm hungry. Pass me that.
Well, you gonna cook, D. Let her sit down.
Shoot, I've been trying to cook. People ain't letting me.
Thank you.
You ain't trying to do nothing.
Exactly. I work 10 hours.
She worked 10 hours. She needs a raise.
So you going to go cook so she can sit down?
I was gonna cook, but she picking on me. You know how that is, yo. You know women, yeah. You know how you women are. You know how you women are. Look, you got the boys at home. You can say, "Oh, my arm hurts." Well, we got it, Mom.
Well, I actually have two chefs in the house. I do. And the one, my 16-year-old, he's a boxer and a model, and he works. And the other one do promotion, and the other one does beats. I got one that does beats, and he's a chef. He do vegan. The 12-year-old is a vegan chef, and he do regular food. And I'm talking about real chef. So I'm a little spoiled. And the 22-year-old, even though he don't want to see me, when I call him, he might cuss me out, but he do hit my Cash App.
Oh, he hit that Cash App. That's right. Take care of the mamas. But see, that's the thing.
My Cash App.
At least you got loyalty amongst, so that's a good thing. Even though in more places in the world there is very little loyalty.
Yeah, well, it's still worked on. You got to work on it, because I lost it for a minute. When I was in my other relationship, and it's loyalty, but it's love. But just like the world, when things don't go their way, they will throw a wrench in the game. Soon as things don't go their way, they'll bring up something from the past and throw you under the bus.
Yes, they will. But
As simple as not getting a piece of cake, and they'll throw you under the bus.
Yeah, damn shame these people today. But you know something? I'm gonna say it honestly. As long as we work it and we keep it straightforward and we keep it 100% honest to these people, you got nothing to throw against me.
Well, you know what?
No weapon.
I don't know how long I'm gonna be able to keep talking about it. If they're not commenting, if they're not calling in, if they're not trying to wake up, because I'm trying to be a Power Ranger and I need to be assembling. And if I don't have a crew, then they're gonna have to be the ones by the wayside.
Well,
because I'm not gonna be the one to come up short. I definitely plan on standing as a survivor, and it's not easy. It's not. And the only secret I got to tell them is if you got to cry about anything, you could only cry in the shower. And once you, so that the tears come down with the water, and then once you get out that shower, once you cut off that water, then the tears got to stop, and you got to walk out that bathroom, shake it off, and go get it.
Go get it. Go get it.
If you gotta cry, you can only cry in the shower.
Now,
once that shower stops, you suck it up.
My boy Denny Ray's in here looking at the show, and he's a metalhead, and he likes truth like this. He likes that woman that's gonna come out and just give him cut and dry. And
cut and dry.
Yeah,
what you mean, metalhead?
No, he's
he
a
like that
metalhead.
metal.
He loves his music. You know what I mean? He's that hardcore music. Chastity is listening to the show right now. And who else is listening? Let's go through the list. Denny Ray, Chastity. We got some people watching.
Did they leave any comments? Do they notice anything going on?
Let's see.
Are they part of the woke family? Or are they still peeping? Or they sleeping? Or they creeping? What's up?
Let's see. Let's call out some names, see where they coming from. Have you seen, I'm going to type it right in. Have you seen anything going on? Have you seen anything going on in the sky?
In the sky, in the trees? Do your birds sound like real birds? They got technology that look like every single thing that's around us. They got technology in the form of a stick. They got stick technology.
Kristen is one of those girls, boy, she looks at everything. And I tell you, she's a good girl. She's in Texas. And I tell you, she's down with trying to figure out what's going on. I mean,
and see, that's the thing about coming together. Everybody, especially everybody in different states, different times, different parts of the world, just communicating. We may be able to piece some things together and work with one another because different things going on in different places.
That's true.
Just like my cousin called me from Cali. Now, Penny reminded me that July is the longest
month.
Have the longest days of the year.
Right.
As far as the sun and everything. Because he was saying, man, it's real creepy out here. The sun didn't go down till damn near 10 o'clock at night.
I was thinking about that. You're right. I mean, it's got to be something.
But the thing of it is, nobody don't want to admit. See, people so used to the norm, they don't want to look at the abnormal that's the real, because the norm has been programmed to their head. See, I really truly believe that we are underneath that Simpson dome because of the things that I see, that's going on with the nature and everything. And if you notice, like fruit and veggies, they don't last like they used to. As soon as you bring them home, it's over. Like you have to eat that stuff ASAP. They don't last like they used to, but somebody is busy and they didn't push the button for the sun to go down like it was supposed to, because that's the fake sun. Now, if you look on YouTube, they'll show you the double sun rays, the one sun outside of the dome that, you know, they have the other sun there, and they have to push the button for the sun to go down. They got videos on YouTube that show you the double sun, and that was from last year when people first noticed the difference in the sun, when we was getting the faces in the clouds with the two eyes, the double eyes in the clouds that's sitting there, and then the sensors. We got the little the things that go up and then come down, stuff that's coming up from the ground, because you know the underground it's a whole city that's underground all through the world, you know.
Yep. And that's
it's
been
stuff
proven.
moving. It's a whole city underneath us, all through the world, and everybody talking about Atlantis, but nobody don't really know where them people went. They still chilling. They sitting right next to us, just walking through, looking for a weakling to attach to, because only the weak will fall short. That's why they say only the strong survive, because it's not an easy position. It's really not an easy position. You need other freedom fighters. You need other truth riders in order to help you continue to decipher what's going on and how you can do something about it. Because it's a hard torch to carry. That torch is heavy. It's very heavy, and we have to be able to pass it to each other to keep it lit.
You know, it's a shame. It is a complete shame that we have to fight so hard.
No, it's not. If we didn't have nothing to fight for, then it'd just be partying. Because I'm telling you, I was just a party animal. And I'm glad that I had a cause to get up. Because other than that, I would have got sucked into the cipher. I really would have. It was just, you know what I'm saying? Cocaine, rap music, a bottle of Hennessy, and a party every day. You know what I'm saying? I had different drugs for different occasions. It just depends. I even had the family drugs. You know, when I was going to a family gathering, I had a mixture for that. I didn't even, because I didn't have to look in the mirror. It's difficult sometimes to deal with you. So the drugs give you a false image. It gives you a different character. You get to be a different person. You don't have to deal with you, so you don't have to deal with nobody else with the drugs. You know, so the things that they saying, the things that they doing, you really don't care because you high. You know what I'm saying? You don't care. You don't pay attention to what's going on in the world because you high. So, you know, when you see something strange, or even if you see an alien or something passing by, you'll probably pass them a joint or ask them if you want a line before you trip off of the fact that, you know, that's a different being there. You don't even care. You just want to know, like, what, are you hitting this or what, dude? You know what I'm saying? What you gonna do? You don't care.
Damn.
It's the I don't care drugs.
I mean,
that's what drugs do. They make you not have any feeling. The only feeling you have is when the drugs are gone.
The question you should ask is, why is it the I don't care part when everything's going around them? I mean, that ideology needs to, or way of doing it is, it's hard.
Well, because it depends on why you do it in the first place. You got some people that are career, you know, drug addicts, to where this is just a part of life. It's not even them being an addict. This is just their lifestyle. And then, like, you know, if you're depressed, I was depressed, I was stressed out. I went in looking to go into some type of a trance. Like, I wasn't happy with the present being of my existence at the time. I was stressed out. It was a lot of pressure on me. And I basically punked out. I punked out. I punked out. And instead of pushing, you know, I decided to black out for a minute. And it was easy to black out with a couple of lines and some Hennessy and a couple of pills. That was an easy blackout, to where no matter what was going on around me, I really didn't give a damn. So I punked out for a minute, and I had to pay for that move. You know, that was a punk move that I made. And I was just blessed that I was able to get up out of it and stand up and try to rectify the fact that I punked out for a minute. I almost lost my life being you know, it got rough. And it was easier for me to deal with being a different person. I was able to go into a different character being high.
Well, that's a tough thing to say. But you told the truth. But you told the truth. How can anybody fault somebody for telling the truth?
What you say?
How can anybody be faulted for telling the truth, speaking the truth, being honest? I mean, that's what people miss about, you know, their life, their way of living. The truth is something that's supposed to stand. But these people
I mean,
are
I
supposed
can't
to
tell
be
it no other
awake.
way. It's
But people around
what it
here,
was.
they're supposed to be awake, and they don't know what the truth is. I mean, they follow somebody else's lead. They don't look for themselves and learn from themselves. They learn it from somebody else instead of doing the investigation of the damn self. I mean,
Well, it's a way that you do everything, and I don't judge nobody. You know, everybody do what they do. That's between them and they higher power. You know what I'm saying? I know that I got carried away with my activities and why I first started knowing that it was nothing positive from any family members. I even lost some family members. And, you know, at one point you could say that I didn't care about losing my own life because I was playing Russian roulette. You know, anytime you out there in the streets and you letting somebody else give you a product that's mixed up with chemicals, looking for a false image of happiness, then you playing Russian roulette. I allowed somebody else to be responsible for my life. I'm putting stuff in my nose, I'm putting stuff in my body, you know, mixing stuff. And then I had to take a pill to get me off of the other drugs just to lay down. And that's when, you know, you have to decide, like, wait a minute, why am I doing this? You can't get angry about people doing things to you, because if you don't have respect for yourself, or you're not pushing for greatness within yourself, then why should somebody else give a damn about you?
you know,
So it's a lot of us out there that, you know, are giving ourselves a fake image on why we do what we do, when it sometimes is a real inner feeling that you're trying to suppress, and the drugs make you not have to deal with it. It's difficult to deal with, but I actually, it's been a year and a half, and I feel stronger now dealing with, you know, what's going on around me that I was trying to suppress, because it strengthened me. You know, I felt bad for being a punk, but I don't regret the ride, because the ride allowed me to humble myself, because I never experienced all those different emotions and all those different characteristics and dealing with different people of the world. So it allowed me to humble myself, and now it enables me to be able to help others, because I've experienced it, and I know the spirit that they're dealing with.
expression to get some feeling. We just follow.
I think that maybe it'll help more if people stop believing that they are humans. And
Let's
because
call them animals.
it make them get a little bougie. Because you got to be real conceited, honestly, to believe that it's just us here on this planet, and that, you know, I am human. You know what I'm saying? And that's supposed to mean something, and that there's nothing else walking around, and that you can just do anything you want to do, and you can be high, and you can be drunk, and you can go over here and go over there, and you're not dealing with any other entities around you, because you are human. You know, so maybe if we stop thinking about that word, because it's a reason why they gave us that word. You know, what were they trying to say? Did we really need that word if you're saying that the only difference between us is an animal? You know, that's a lie. That was part of the training. You know what I'm saying? You human. human services. Why would you need a place called human services? What other service is it if we're all just human?
Are there? Did anybody think about that out there? Or are you just sitting there dumb?
If you look at all the buildings, they say human this, human that. Why would you need to put human in front of these buildings if it's just us and the animals? Why you gotta say human? But what is it gonna say? Animal service? Why you gotta say human? Why you just can't say, that it's a helpful service? But it says human. Why? To keep putting that in your head? Yeah, you human. That's what we are.
Yeah. You believe that, right? Yeah.
But like I said, if you look at us, if you look at the anger, if you look at the way we eat, if you look at the way we make love, you will not feel human. If you look at the way people act, just the strippers alone, like for real, just the strippers lately, male and female, the way I see them swinging on that pole, like, damn, is that something we all supposed to be able to do like that? Like, what the hell? How is I seen it with 3 women on one pole, and I was looking at it, and it was crazy. It was so wild. It was very entertaining. Like, I had to give them some money.
Good God.
That was like really entertainment. I couldn't believe it. They were synchronized and everything. Like, okay, like dolphins.
Okay, Diddy Ray, stop it, boy. You know you want to see the strippers. Sorry, Diddy Ray's up there talking. He's like, strippers, poles.
There was 3 of them on one pole. And so, like I was just saying, the difference, they talking about human this, human that. They were in comparison to like dolphins at an animal show, and it was a good show to where I had to give them $5. You know what I'm saying?
You had to give them $5.
Yeah. Well, what? No, 6. That's $2 a head. It was 3 of them, 2, 4, 6. Yeah, 6.
Okay. Well, one only got $1. It's okay though.
Shoot.
It
was on a bunch. No, I couldn't believe it. And then I seen the male stripper. It was like, I was like, that's nasty. But seeing him in those heels and all the tricks he was doing, it kind of pissed me off and it had me entertained. Like, wow, we could do our bodies like that? Is that how humans do it? Because these are all things that appear to be animals. You know what I mean? So human animals make what, aliens? And who decided that the word was alien? Who decided that the word was human? What the hell is going on?
Hey, as I always tell people, our use of words really shows a lot when it comes to what people consider aliens on the outside. I mean, what is an alien? I'm sorry. I mean, they describe all these various different types, even dinosaurs, and they call them dragons. Excuse me, do you think a dragon calls itself a dragon? Do you think a bird calls itself a bird? Do you think a fish calls itself a fish? But we have...
That's like these people pulling on your spirit. Like, have you ever had your mother, family member, like my grandmother? You can feel them pulling on your spirit where you're doing something and something tells you, I need to call my mom.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can feel them pulling on your spirit like, dang. And you just can't continue doing what you're doing. You have to make that phone call. And then you call and they know they was pulling on your spirit. And it's like, I was just thinking about you. It's like, what are you, why you pulling on my spirit like that? What's up? And I actually tried to do that a couple of times.
Synchronized swimmer strippers.
What was you talking about? What?
Synchronized swimmer strippers. Kristen, you wrong.
Who said that?
Kristen. I'm sorry. I just drove. If anybody saw, no, thank God the camera. You can see it. Nobody. Synchronized.
Don't be giving nobody no ideas. Now, if it's any synchronized swimmer strippers, then I'm gonna be promoting that.
I got it too. I'm sorry. What did you say? Gotta keep it real over here. Can I watch?
That would actually be, you know what I'm saying, a more a show that you could look at, because at least it'd be an excuse for them to have the bathing suit on with the water, you know what I'm saying, and doing acrobatic tricks. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Just in that sweaty building on the pole, you know, maybe somebody do need to take it down to the water, getting ready for the new world. That right there be a show. We need some auditions.
Don't tell me you'll start a new group.
And definitely, and that's part of the woke group. That's part of the woke. You know what I'm saying? You got to do something to show that you need to be part of the new world.
New world order. Strip it. I mean, swim it.
Synchronized under the water. Everybody can't get in. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to hold your breath. Can't be smoking on them blunts.
Well, hold on now. Yeah, you're right. Unless we could put it in the mask.
No, the mask ain't sexy. Because we got to have a waterproof lipstick. Oh. That's another show, Daryl.
That's another show. Waterproof lipstick. I like that. Go, girl. Oh, sorry. What was that? I'm sorry. Don't take my mind anywhere. Kristen, you're wrong. You have me cracking up, and I'm sorry. Now you got me thinking about underwater swimming with some juicy red lipstick. I'm not doing that. Y'all need to stop.
I was just saying, the humans in comparison with animals, you know, just like we go to the circus and watch the animals do tricks and the acrobatics, that's just how the strippers did, and they look like dolphins. And so, you know, people need to get the human thought out of their mind, and maybe they'll think outside the box as far as the things that's going on around us, so that we can come together and bring a solution and not part of the problem that's getting swept away with the rest of America.
The question should be this. I don't want to go there, but I'm going to have to go there. Let's ask Google. Are humans animals? Oh my God, it popped right up. Further, humans belong to the animal phylum known as chordates because we have a backbone. The human animal has hair and milk glands. So we are placed in the class of mammals. Within the mammal class, humans are placed in the primate order. I ain't nobody's primate, but we can do it like gorillas.
Yeah, I mean, you are a primate. I seen a couple pictures. You know what? We need to stop.
Whoa. Well, you know, me and King Kong did walk side by side in that movie.
We need to stop looking at the structure of the slave mentality. People, this is real. We need to start looking outside of the box. Stop being so conceited and transform to the world, okay? This is not the world as you know it. Look outside of the box and think about how you're going to be able to hold on. Those movies that they playing, they just not pulling those movies out of their butt, okay? There's things going on behind the scenes. That's just another program for you. The movies are not just coming out just like for your entertainment. It's kind of like message. You know what I mean? For you to wake up. I seen a movie. I forgot the name of the movie, but it showed just what I witnessed going on with the bright lights. Everybody seeing the different lights and their walls and everything. And it was smart dust and AI mixed into the paint. And it was used for all the walls. So the dude was able to just go to the wall and touch. Now, this has been going on in our world for so long. So it is certain things in our walls that's mixed into the paint that was already there. Just like when what is that? Nikolai Tesla. You know, if you look at his studies and how he went around the world with the numbers and how he was able to move the world with electricity. That's where the underground world, like right now I'm speaking, there and people are living and walking under us every day. Every day. It's like structure on top of structure. I know everybody cannot be that silly to just think that you just sitting on top of a house with dirt. It's a whole nother world under you, and it's a whole nother world above you. You hear it all night. Now you hear it more than ever, the activity above you, as if it's like a freeway. Ain't no freeways that close. Ever since coronavirus, it's been so much air activity. Has anybody noticed that? Ever since the pandemic, that air activity and the trains, I'm telling you, them trains, they are assembling around us. Them trains been rolling, them planes been rolling ever since the pandemic. I never heard so many planes and trains. At night, when I don't hear a train, I'm thinking today they're going to push the button. They done got all the equipment in. They're in all corners that they need to be in. When they push that button, everything already assembled. In every state, if you look online, in every single state around the world, they got full army set up. They have rebuilt and reopened the conservation camps in each state. They have reopened them, redesigned them, set up to come and do the swoop.
You know, they were doing that in New York.
Huh?
They were taking people that didn't take the shot and put them in these, camps, encampments in New York.
What? When was this?
This was during COVID.
And them people, and nobody don't know where them people at, huh?
I don't know, but the bottom line is they took them away, and they were taking people that had COVID and put them in other camps.
And this the thing,
For treatment, for medical treatment.
you and that you don't know, it's not fair. So if we don't come together, if all they say is you got it, they have people that test the test.
Mm-hmm.
They can decide who got it and who don't. You know what? You got it.
You got it.
Mm-hmm. Come on, you got it.
Oh, no,
and then
you know you got it. You know you got it.
Everybody around you is so trained, they just gonna sit there like, oh, they're trying to help you. Just
Just take it. Just take it. Hold on. Just go ahead and bend over right here. Now, we're going to give you this special shot that's going to make you feel, it's going to make you feel real good.
And they divided most of the families because my household didn't take it. And the family members that did, they sitting there acting like the police. You're really jeopardizing you and the kids,
No. Make it worse. Make it worse.
And it's better for you. And I'm like, I'm not taking nothing that I don't know. And it doesn't even help you. I know people that got it that had the shot. Yeah, but it just didn't affect them as much. Girl, if you don't get off my doorstep, just don't come in.
Don't come in.
We're not taking it, then I don't go nowhere. Well, I'm going nowhere because I'm not taking the shot.
No.
And then I continue to clear the stores.
I had to make sure they stayed away from me. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's how you do. That's the Jesus thing now. That's how you part the Red Sea. Remember, at the store. Mm-hmm. Because everybody programmed. That's how you part the Red Sea.
You can get that
you need
cash
to go
register
to the
real
store.
quick,
You need to
can't
clear
you?
that line.
That cash register can come real quick, can it? Oh, there it is. The cash register's clear. Now I can buy my food and just check out.
Because I never understood if we supposed to be one nation under God, okay?
Under what God?
The churches had to close, and the churches got you sitting there like, all right, you don't believe that what's for you is for you, and God gonna protect you. Yeah, we believe in all that, but we need you to sit over there. Okay, wait a minute now.
6 feet apart, 2 pews away, 2 pews away, 6 feet apart. And look, I gotta get my money. So, we're gonna have 4 services today.
So it's very contradicting, but I do tell you what, I never wanted Jesus so bad. Then when I couldn't get to him, it's like you didn't go to church like that until they closed the church down. Then it was like, man, this don't make no sense. I'm trying to get to church. You know what I'm saying? It's like you already knew the world was coming to an end when that church shut down. When I seen that announcement, it scared the hell out of me. I started looking up all type of stuff. I was like, oh, Lord. Okay, wait a minute. No Jesus.
Hold on.
So,
the liquor store was open. You got spirits.
And the strip club.
Oh, yes.
And the strip club. So you couldn't gather at the church. You couldn't gather at the schools. But you could still gather at the strip club. The strip club was still open.
Yes,
and I noticed down south, them strip clubs don't close for nothing. Because I was complaining about that. How's the Bible Belt? And, you got to get a drink at a certain time. But them strip clubs is 24 hours.
Yes. Yes, Lord. The good Reverend had to go in there to save a child from sinning even more. He had to grasp it. He had to feel it. He had to lay
Nobody
hands
came in there and ain't nobody
upon
wearing
that
no
child.
mask. Nobody now see, it's certain places where that COVID thing, the pandemic thing don't even matter. Because in the strip club, nobody said nothing.
Not a thing.
Nothing. I mean, not like I know like that, like I've been there like that. I'm just saying, I've seen a couple, I know a little bit.
A little bit. It's all right. It's all right. Let me express the knowledge. See, as older, I had to travel the land, and I had to find places where humans did gather. So, they shut down the casinos just a little bit. But, the strip club, it was rolling. And the souls were in
I was
there.
upset because the streets was so bare. And you had to wonder, actually, the strip clubs and the cigar clubs were open.
Oh, yes.
The cigar lounges were open.
Oh, you know what's happening in cigar lounges. Come on now.
The cigar lounges were open.
You know what's happening
The
in
strip
lounge.
clubs was open. The liquor store was open. And Walmart.
Hey, Sam ain't missing a damn dime. Don't play. Sam ain't gonna miss a dime. And the grocery store, listen, hold on. We're gonna have to wait next week for this topic because we might can hit it now for a little bit. Why is it that everything was closed and they were telling the farmers to burn up all their crop, kill some animals because they couldn't use it for the fear COVID was in their animals or COVID was in their plants, but they still had the same food. I'm going too deep. I don't want to go there. Do I really want to go there? Yeah.
Well, process of elimination. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm still trying to figure out, and even though we have to eat every day, mm-hmm. and everybody growing their own fruit, and I'm farming a little bit too, but the crazy thing is, what do it matter if we growing it outside where they dropping the poison on us every day too? They're still on the same thing that was the chemtrails is going everywhere. So even though we're growing our own fruit, you're still growing it in our own veggies. You're still growing it outside. And when you go outside, you know what I'm saying? You got the chemtrails coming, right now. They done double up on us over here. They drop them like 4 times a day.
And they spraying y'all like raid.
And unfortunately, they might be a little pissed off because like roaches, we are not dropping that fast. You know what I'm saying? So they done doubled up. The roach that keep going, you didn't spray them and it just keep going like, damn, what type of bug is this?
Shit, we gotta get the new formula out. The formula called monkeypox COVID.
So before I fall out, because like I said, it done tripled up and I ain't claiming it. I want to be part of the ones standing. I would like us really to come together and put our minds together, because we could talk about everything the masses is doing all day long. We can go all the way back. We can even talk about the ignorance of bottled water that all of us buy, and we act real funny about people who offer you water that's from the tap. But how many people have really done the test to see which one is healthier? If the tap is healthier or if the bottled water, because still studies show that in some places your tap water is more healthier than your bottled water. But we're spending all this money, and if somebody offer you a glass of water, the first thing you do is toot your nose up. I know I do, and be like, you don't have no bottled water? You know what I'm saying? It's like
I don't want nothing you touched, okay? In case you breathed on it, okay? So that's what I want you to do. Go get me that bottle of Nestle. Okay.
So we're so ignorant. We have to have bottled water, but I'm still gonna take a shower and wash my hair and my face in the tap water, and I'm gonna soak it in the tub. But I'm only drinking bottled water. But the water that I think is polluted, I'm gonna wash my body with it. Okay.
Okay. You're so special. I mean, let me make sure. Let me make sure you understand. I'm gonna keep my face smooth with it and everything. Don't worry about it. Fukushima will get you either way. Fukushima. That radiation. And I'm gonna grow my fruit and forget, all the poison that's dropping down out of the sky on top of the fruit that I got outside, because I grew it, so it's more healthier than what's in the store. At least it ain't gonna age as fast.
So, hey, that's how I'm surviving.
Now, they still haven't taught us about Fukushima and why is the radiation still around and is found in all the water around the world. Oh, did I say that? And you still drinking bottled water? You bottled Fukushima?
That's why I keep speaking about the fake humans, okay? Because we can't just be human and be so pure as humans only, but yet we are surrounded by nothing but chemicals to protect us. So how can we only be human when we need nothing but chemicals to protect us? Okay? We need chemicals for protection. We got to have a house without bleach. You need bleach. You got to have nothing but chemicals around you for protection. All your plants and stuff, all the chemicals, everybody's buying chemicals every single day for protection. For eating, for clean, for survival, but we're supposed to be pure human. There's no human only. The damn animals can't even deal with that many chemicals as we take in.
Hold on, I need some Comet and get some Ajax and give some hand sanitizer. What are you gonna use that for? I'm gonna wash my ass.
Hey, don't be laughing at it, because I actually wash my hair with that. My hair is growing so well. I actually wash my hair, and the kids laugh because I do scrub my hair with Comet, and I do rinse it. I put bleach in it, and they thought that it would be harmful to the hair. And that's why I say, because I test a lot of things on myself, like, dang, it's got to be something else in me, because you would think that this bleach would hurt, but it helps because, like I said, when you go outside, you take it in so many other chemicals, it's all on your body.
You're turning into an alien. Hey, Valkyrie.
Everyone reading me?
Yeah, we hear you, Valkyrie. What's up? We're talking about all the chemicals we're using today, Valkyrie.
Hey, Valkyrie, I've been waiting for you to call me.
I said? You, Tabisha?
Yep.
Yeah, I sent you a note saying you could send me a question.
Oh, I didn't get it?
Y'all two just...
Sorry about that.
Hey, I got a question.
Cool. When we get off here, I did have a question, because I know that, I was going through my Bible, and I know that Valkyrie can answer the question for me, because I asked somebody else and I wasn't happy my spirit just wasn't moved by the answer that they gave me. So the question is, okay, in Genesis chapter 1, verse 27, it says, so God created man in his own image. In his image of God created he, male and female, he created them. It say that, going through 28, Genesis 1, that God blessed them and said unto them, be fruitful and multiply. Gave them all the instructions, right? And then going into Genesis 2, verse 4, it say, these are the generations of heaven and of earth, and they were created in the day that the Lord God made the earth and the heavens. All right. So then,
because Genesis 1 and Genesis 2 are written by two separate authors at different periods of time.
And two different stories.
When I get to Genesis 2 and I go up to 7, and it say God formed and the Lord God formed man of dust and ground and breathed breath and created. So I was asking, so was that two sets of human beings that was formed?
There are two different accounts of creation by two separate authors that have been merged together in the beginning of Genesis.
And that's what I said. So the person was like, no, that was God telling us how he formed the first set. And I was like, how was that? When he had conversation over here, look, after he made male and female. And
well, if you go into the original Talmudic mythology, Lilith was created before Eve. So there's some theories that the first chapter of Genesis is referring to him creating Adam and Lilith at the same time. And the second chapter is about the creation of Eve after Lilith had been tossed out of the garden. So it really, there's a whole muddle because the entire first 5 books of the Bible show evidence of two separate authors and basically extracts of different accounts having been cherry-picked and assembled together to make the story that we now know.
In other words, are you a golem? Were you born from dirt?
See,
I'm asking her a straight question.
Tabisha. The two authors refer to God as two different names.
Yes.
One of them is called the Elohist because he refers to the deity as the Elohim.
Right.
And the other is known as the Yahwist because they refer to them as Yahweh.
And in the end, you're going to be with the Zoroastrianism, and you're going to be lost.
First that, like he said, that these are the generations of the heavens and the earth. Like the first set was made with, godly strength, like his power and strength. And then the second set was made,
they're two gods.
That he blew life into. Like it was two different sets of humans made.
Yes.
But they both had different, the first set was non-human because he said human and earth, and the second set was the human form ones.
Okay, you
that
ready?
Was made from the dirt.
Here's the one. First set was the Elohim. Second one, Yahwist. And one was born of creation of God, and the second was born of dirt. Which are you?
Well, I'm damn sure not the dirt.
Really? Because I sure as hell ain't no golem my damn self.
I'm not the dirt because
I know, I'm not a golem. I'm not controlled.
I'm washing my hair with bleach and everything. I'm able to take in too many chemicals, like the bleach would be and ate up the dirt.
Well,
so I must have.
Look. See, the problem that you have is anything born and bred of dirt is created, and its loyalty ties to one thing, and it's a slave. I'm no slave.
Well, we are slaves in this world. That's why we're working on being woke. Because right now, you know what I'm saying? The way the world is, We all been programmed as slaves. Unless you have that bloodline and you on the elite list, when that button get pushed, you know what I'm saying? You'll see who the slaves are. It's not like we're gonna be divided. All colors, all money, you know, unless it's the money that's making the plans right now. That's what we discussing.
Well,
Being woke.
according to 23 different species of alien, we were all created as
Slaves.
slaves, and we
Wow.
belong to them. 23 different sets of aliens all claim to be our creators. But
Well, which ones are
hold on.
because I
My
have
question
to
would
the
be, how many people
geopolitical reality, according to Penny, our entire sector of space belongs to the Draco Empire. So we are technically sitting in their backyard.
well,
And
you know
our
what?
little ant hill is
I
part
would
of their
say
empire.
a couple of times I was saved and I yelled out God's name, and that bright light came and saved me on one occasion. And that's the one thing that keep me strong. Like I was about to die on the floor.
There you go.
And I couldn't tell you the sound of his voice because I didn't hear his voice. He just spoke to my brain. When I seen the bright light, the light was so bright, I was laying on the ground. The darkness told me, just lay down, don't worry about it. Because I was about to OD. And I had one leg down and I said, Lord, help me, I want to live. And I seen a light so bright and something came in my head and told me to go drink some water as much as I can and then put my hand in my mouth and make myself throw up to pump my stomach, which I was young. I didn't realize that's what I was doing at the time, but that's what the bright light told me to do. And so I did it. And then I can see, you know, I started to come back and I seen the drugs coming out of me in the toilet as I was continuously drinking water, making myself throw up. And so that's another thing that keep the struggle alive, because I just don't believe that I was saved just to feed me to the wolves, in which, like I said, I was attacked from them arrows in the sky, which, you know, they hit me from the back.
Unfortunately, my experiences have made me conclude that there is no reason whatsoever for God to intercede on our behalf for anything.
Has God ever interceded?
But
God's been on
everyone's
vacation getting a
mileage
pack
may
of
vary.
cigarettes. Hey, Valkyrie, my favorite statement. God left heaven, went for a pack of cigarettes, and just didn't come back home.
Well, I need to figure out my mission, because like I said, I called out the name and the bright
There
light
is no mission.
told me, oh, it's some type of
The
mission.
belief that we have some sort of mission is part of the programming.
That's programming.
So how many people been hit by that arrow that's transforming?
How many people believe there's a mission?
I believe it's a
There's
mission.
all
Okay,
sorts
you ready?
of
You live and you
explanations
die.
for
You live and you
the
die.
vision that
No.
you might have had. None
You
of
said
them
vision.
actually verify the existence of a all-supreme being who actually intervenes on a daily basis in reality.
There's no supreme being that ever intervened. If you really want to look at it. I mean, honestly, you ready? I want to show you what intervention is?
I mean, as I've stated several times,
Go walk across 95
I've
highway.
been saved 6 times. You know, over the course of my childhood, I'd get extremely emotional and into a sermon, and I'd ask God to save me, and, you know, I'd feel so wonderful and everything else, and it just went away.
Psychological.
We have chemicals in our brain that give us that feeling when we experience certain programmed stimuli.
Oh, let me give her an example. Have you ever seen the movie Beaches? With Bette Midler.
Yes.
Yeah, a long time ago. Long time ago.
You remember how it felt when you see her best friend died? Do you remember how it felt? Come on now. Come on. Don't you want to cry?
No.
Okay, how about this? Do you remember Godzilla versus King Kong, the original? When King Kong and Godzilla were fighting, and Godzilla and Kong went in that cave underneath the water, and as a child you looked at it, and you were like, no, not Godzilla! Not Godzilla! And Kong came swimming out.
I mean, my childhood was a lot strange. Is quite different. My family, I'm from California. My family was hustlers. So, you know, I was raised up around.
Okay, how about this one? Homeboy driving by with the Tech 9 and he's launching bullets everywhere and you sitting in there watching TV and a bullet hits your damn TV. Did anybody stop that bullet from hitting you?
No, but like, you know, I was in karate classes because I was a fighter. So, you know, like
I haven't
I had
lost.
to take karate in the 4th grade. Like we had guns put to our head a lot of times.
Okay,
because people
and
try to rob
what
my mom
stopped
for
that
the
bullet
dope.
what stopped that person from shooting you?
So I don't know. We didn't get shot though.
Whether you were worth it or not.
Didn't get shot.
That's the only thought. No, the person decided whether you were worthy or not, worth it or not. Here's an example. If you had,
I guess the person did decide because too many times I done had a couple of, you know, marks with death. I was with, you know, in too many episodes, shooting right next door to me. Like I said, that light came and told me what to do. The transformation of my body from the attack that I told y'all about, and it, you know, I can't say it was an alien attack, but the person that I was with, he had the different features, but then they had stuff from CERN too. So, you know, there was a lot of different stuff in the air from a couple of different
there's a variety
entities.
of explanations for that. You know, but people will assign their own meaning to that.
Everybody assigns a meaning or a thought to things, and that's the biggest issue. There's nobody with concrete data.
I need to figure it out because that was not cool. And you know what I'm saying? Just seeing now, a couple of people claim that they've been shot, but they don't explain that it doesn't explain the things that happened when it shot me because my body started to transform instantly. But I seen him like give the signal when I was on the balcony for that drone to come and shoot me. I seen him do like this, and I seen different things going into my body, into other people's body. I visually seen that. It wasn't like you know, an image. Like I seen it in everybody's body. I seen it. Everybody got different things in their body.
But like I said, there's any number of non-spiritual explanations for those visions.
Nothing has to
Your
be
brain will play tricks on you.
There's a song, my mind's playing tricks on me.
Well, I don't know how my body plays tricks, and I'm still pulling wires off of my body.
All through history. And there's even the possibility that you might have actually seen one of the many non-physical entities that appear to exist on this planet.
Which there are many.
Yes, there are quite a few non-physical entities. One of the most well-known are known as the Jinn. You know, these are entities that appear to be shadow-like, can walk through walls.
And play with your head.
Whisper in people's ears, and appear to have been the origin of quite a few of the world's major religions. I see
the ones that can walk through walls. I've been seeing them since I was in the first grade.
There's an enormous amount of evidence that they exist,
but we can't identify.
They're not physical, and you know, unless you have the right physical chemistry in your brain, you can't see them.
Right.
I can't see them at all. My buddy who lives a house away sees them all the time.
And they piss me off because, like I told Daryl, it's like as soon as you see them, they duck, and it's like, what's going on? They go walk through the walls. coming in from the ground, just popping up, just like chilling.
Mm-hmm.
For no reason. Like, what's up? And then, at first I
That's
was
one of the
afraid.
reasons why they're called tricksters.
Yep.
And then I got so pissed off that I started trying to chase them. Like, what's up? What's going on? And as soon as, like, I think I see them and I see them in the shadow, and then I turn and then they duck. Like, what's up?
According to Arabic tradition, they have a passionate hatred for physical beings.
Yeah, physical beings.
Because they believe that this earth had been created for them. And then, their dominion was taken away and we were put here. And they hate us for that.
But hold on. Isn't that the story, like they said, of the fallen angels? I'm going to throw that story to you because guess what? The story of fallen angels is bullshit.
That's one of them, yes.
Well, I've been reading.
According to Arabic
the Quran.
tradition, the jinn are fallen angels.
I've been reading the Quran. I just got started because I remember it was one section in there that remind me, like I said, of the different people that I have met, because you still got to add in the folks that's involved in witchcraft and the ones that be channeling different spirits and everything.
Mediums.
And
so channeling these days, I'm a lot more suspicious of, knowing that they have direct transmission to the auditory nerves of your ear,
Right.
of microwave transmission, so they can make you hear voices in your head.
Oh, they've been doing
Voice
that.
of God technology.
yeah, I haven't heard no voices. I ain't never heard no voices.
There's also a significant amount of evidence that they can directly manipulate your neurons to produce visions, as well as hear voices. If you get into some of the secret space program stuff, they have virtual reality devices which directly interface with your neurons and can create a reality that is indistinguishable from actual reality.
Well, I believe that because of the way everything is wired. That's why I think they're getting ready to put on a big freak show. The whole world is wired. Every house, every apartment, everything that we in has already been wired.
Of course, technology has already expanded.
And the
thing is
they
that
drop it every day.
If they do
Every day
put
they
on
drop
a
it.
big show, it's basically their last gasp, because everything else has failed.
Yeah, that's the show that they're gonna put on.
I'm sitting here from my perspective, seeing them try one more desperate plan after another, because every desperate plan to this point is failing.
They're gonna put on
losing
this
more
show
people.
at the end. They're gonna put on this show at the end. This program from the Bible, they're gonna put on this show at the end.
Yeah, they're gonna try to do the whole Revelation and Rapture and the second coming of Christ and everything.
Because they've been putting
as
up
a big,
too
huge,
much.
holographic show.
And that's when the
Yeah.
aliens will come.
But I don't think that it's going to be any more successful than all of the other shit.
Oh no,
the people
it's gonna
who've
be
already bought
successful.
into it, will continue to buy into it. But all the people who've decided, okay, enough is enough, aren't. So I honestly don't think that even that is going to be successful for reestablishing the control that they want. But
They're gonna get it
I've
because
discussed
they're
that
already
in my shows
been
before.
dropping stuff all on people. They've been dropping AI and stuff all on people.
AI has been on
We've
us
had-
all the time.
We've had AI for years.
AI, listen, let me give you AI. You ready? Simplest AI there was. The Atari. Who didn't have an Atari
The first
2600?
AI was the microwave.
Hey, how about this?
Well,
Your box television
we've
when
had
it receives
we've
signals.
had artificial intelligences throughout history. I mean,
Yeah,
some
we
of our
have.
most ancient stories have talked of brass men, you know, ancient robots that were as intelligent as human.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's AIs have existed most of our history on this world. It's just we didn't have the terminology to properly describe them until recently,
I
when the whole
believe
concept of artificial intelligence came around.
I had my first encounter when I was in the first grade, and the second one when I was like 14. And then no more until this recent contact 3 years ago with the person I was dating, which had all
Well,
this, you know,
I've
stuff
never
coming out
had
of them.
anything that I could describe as an encounter where I saw anything. I've had a couple of occasions where I felt something, and I've had one occasion where I think I saw something, but I can't verify it because I was working at a psychiatric clinic when I was the night guardsman, and as you'd walk around this locked building, you could look through it, and you know the hallways were straight, so you could see straight through the building to the door on the other side. And I can remember one night I could have sworn I saw somebody crossing the hallway as I was walking by, but it was just there and gone, and I never saw it again. So I can't verify that I've ever, actually seen something, because
I've
it
seen
could
a
have
lot.
been any number of things.
I've seen a lot. And from what I see, right around us, like it's, beings sitting right next to us, right around us, on and off our, all around us. Little ones, big ones.
There are
Just
beings all
like
around us.
in a whole nother world all around us.
There is a whole other world all around us, and it's not multidimensional or transdimensional. It's just that we can't see it.
Well, it's one of the things that I've discussed with a couple of people before. I honestly think that most of the creatures of our mythology existed, and in all likelihood still exist.
Yeah, because those movies didn't just pop out of people's head.
If you look at Hollywood movies over the past 20 some odd years, they've been priming the public for the idea that all of these mythological creatures coexist with humanity. On this planet, you've got all the stories about, ghosts and vampires and everything else trying to make their way in modern civilization. And all these different stories like Supernatural and whatnot, where it's all being talked about and treated as if it's perfectly normal. And I think part of that is to try and prepare humanity for the fact that before very long, most of these things are going to, start showing up on a regular basis. They're tired of hiding. Anyway, it is 16 after. Are we ready to go live, or have we already gone live? Yep. And Daryl's missing. So.
No, I'm not missing.
No, I didn't say you were. I said Daryl was.
Oh, you're showing up next, right?
I was asking him whether we were live or if we were going to be going live, but he's wandered off somewhere.
We're live right now, still. Is your show on that?
Huh?
Is your show on that?
I'm showing the Zoom meeting, but I'm not showing I don't have a link to see if the live video is showing.
What's your topic today, so I can log on?
My topic is basically something I learned about this week about the very likely possibility that Krakatoa erupted in the year 530 something and created such a large ecological catastrophe that it affected the climate worldwide and greatly contributed to the collapse of Rome and things like the Mongol invasion of Rome with the Huns.
Did you finish the novel yet? Did you finish the novel yet?
Yeah, I finished it, but apparently it's probably not woke enough for the company I was going to enter the contest in, because 4 days after I put it up on the website, it's been deleted. So I'm guessing I just was not woke enough for them. Considering that it's based on Japanese tropes from porno games and whatnot.
So are you going to put it somewhere? Because you put a lot of work in that.
I'll figure something out for it eventually. I mean, it's only been a couple of days, so I haven't even started looking at options yet.
All right.
And I'm already working on book 2, so I'm sure I'll figure something out eventually.
Congratulations.
But anyway, as I was pointing out, I was doing some of my watching of videos, and I ran across a couple of videos on YouTube talking about a climate disaster in the year 536, I think it was, that is not in the history books, but it does show up in the records in various cultures of a clouds of yellow dust and a weakening of the sun, as well as a radical drop in temperatures causing crop failures from cold spells in the middle of summer. It also shows up in the tree rings as a period of much longer and colder winters than before or later.
Is that in comparison with the volcano that they say that is looking to possibly erupt at Yellowstone? Could you bring my light up?
No, that one hasn't erupted for the entire history of man that we've got recorded. This appears to have been are you familiar with the island of Krakatoa at all?
A little bit, only recently.
Yeah. In the late 1800s, Krakatoa exploded and essentially destroyed almost the entire island. It was an explosion loud enough to be heard thousands of miles away. And it pumped enough dust into the atmosphere that worldwide we had much redder sunsets than were normal. And this persisted for a series of, years, almost a decade. And when they totaled up all the damage and whatnot, it killed something like 36,000 people from the tidal waves that the island exploding caused. Now, the evidence also appears to suggest that it exploded in the year 5036. And this explosion made the modern explosion look like a firecracker. There's reports in some of the records from China stating that they heard the explosion in China, more than 1,000 miles away. And that following the explosion, clouds of yellow dust fell in such profusion that you could pick up handfuls of it off the ground because it was falling like snow. And we also have evidence in Europe of a cataclysm of some sort that left burned black earth over the entirety of Europe at approximately this time as well. Gunnar Henson was studying the geology throughout this region and has determined that this layer was all deposited at about the same time because it's found in the same geological level regardless of where it is in Europe. But for some reason, archaeologists will date it at 500 something in France and Spain and whatnot, and then they'll date it at 800 something in Germany and Poland and the middle, and then they'll date it at 1,000 over in Hungary and Bulgaria and the Eastern European nations. And because of this, we've created a complete mythological timeline throughout the early first millennium, which appears to have basically be a couple of periods of 200 to 300 years that we have reported on 3 different times, but staggered the dates to make them appear as if they occurred over 1,000 years. But that this is basically what caused the fall of the Roman Empire.
Why do you think they staggered the dates?
Because after the collapsing period, you would get kings who wanted to establish their divine right to rule and would manufacture family bloodlines that would stretch back, to prove their legitimacy for the throne. So you were basically having a whole history being manufactured from fragments that had remained, and in order to make it fit into the political aspirations of the kings of the time, they had to be modified to fit in with their family mythology. And
so do you have the kings that ruled after the fact of that?
The trouble is that the evidence for this whole area is so fragmentary, we can't even truly prove that characters like Charlemagne actually existed.
Because
we've got a lot of people who believe in Charlemagne.
Order for people to falsify things in order to get their position.
All of the mythical kings like Charlemagne and Arthur all took place during this period of time. There's, I don't know if you're familiar with the legends of Arthur, but he basically, the end of his reign came when the environment of England basically collapsed. It had gone from, the healthy environment to a gloomy, blighted landscape, by the end of his reign, which was one of the reasons why his reign ended with him and Modred killing each other. Supposedly he'd lost his connection to the land, and the land was suffering from the illness of its king. Now, if the land was suffering from a volcanic nuclear winter, it would explain things quite well.
Mm-hmm.
If the whole world was suffering from this volcanic-induced form of nuclear winter, it would explain a lot of the chaos that occurred at the end of the Roman era. The evidence for the bubonic plague, normally the heat in Africa tends to keep the virus that causes the bubonic plague contained in a very small area in Africa. But with cooler weather, it allowed it to spread and get into the rat population, and then from the rat population, spread all across Europe and Asia. And in the Mongol plains, it proved pretty deadly to the tribes of horsemen that lived there, and essentially led to their collapse as a major power and allowed the Chinese word, and that pretty much produced the invasion by the Huns, which was these Mongol horsemen as they were traveling westward trying to find new places to live as they were being driven out of their homelands on the Mongol steppes. And of course, if you know anything about the Huns, they basically destroyed most of the Roman Empire, particularly anything north of Rome itself in the Germanic wilds and everything. They were overrun by the Huns, and Rome lost complete control of them. And later on, these all became the various nations of Europe and led to, the stories of Roland and Charlemagne and Arthur and the other hero kings from the early Middle Ages. There's also quite some evidence that the Middle Ages, as we know of them, probably never actually existed. That this whole period of the Dark Ages was a reconstruction of various stories at a time after 1000 AD.
Hey, Valkyrie, real quick, I'm running out. I'll see you in a few.
Are we live?
You're live. Still live. You ain't changed yet.
Okay.
Enjoy.
All right. So long as we're still running, go ahead. See you later. And so basically, this explosion of Krakatoa is likely one of the most formative events in history, but nobody knows about it because it hasn't been officially recognized in the history books that this event occurred. With the spreading of the dust clouds leading to crop failures all around the world, it's probably also responsible for the collapse of the original Aztec civilization that lived in where Mexico City is now. I think it's called I can't pronounce the Aztec word for it. Teotihuacan or something like that. But the old Aztec civilization that had centered itself where Mexico City is now and where the Pyramid of the Sun and the Moon and whatnot is, collapsed because the clouds of dust in the upper atmosphere and this whole nuclear winter caused all their crops to fail. And the people just starved to death And after starving for a while, they rose up against the priests and the emperor and overthrew the old government of the Aztec Empire. Additionally, as I said, this led to the bubonic plague going across the steppes of Mongolia and decimating the horse tribes that lived there, and allowed the Chinese to drive them out to where they invaded Europe. And their invasions of Europe more or less destroyed the remnants of the Roman Empire. Apparently, they held the city of Constantinople hostage to the point of basically draining its coffers of the majority of the gold that had been collected by the Roman Empire over centuries. And that led to the ultimate failure of the Eastern Roman Empire, which at that time was the only remnant left of the official Roman Empire. Rome had split into the East and West. The West was ruled by Rome, and the East was ruled from Constantinople. And this tied into what I was talking about last week, because the Emperor Justinian, who was in charge of the Eastern Holy Roman Empire, demanded that the various squabbling denominations of Christianity create a unified religion, or he was going to destroy them all wholesale, because they were so disruptive amid everything else that was going on. He couldn't deal with all of these squabbling sects of Christianity, as well as the Huns, as well as the plague, as well as crop failures. You know, it was just, he had to make them do something to get themselves under control, or the whole empire was going to collapse. And that's primarily what led to Christianity becoming the official faith of the, quote, Holy Roman Empire, and led to its domination of Europe. Basically, without this eruption, there's a possibility that Christianity would not have become the dominant religion. Which would completely reshape the world as we currently know it.
Well, everything will reshape the world, because if you opening up the can of worms of the explosion and the history of who was able to get in power, then that would trickle down all the way into who holds power now in certain positions, being able to open up all the way down to where the power is now, as it broke up into pieces, which would most likely put the people that's in position out of place, because they swindled their the bloodline was swindled into the position.
Exactly. I mean, you're looking at an event that is not recorded in history officially today, which likely influenced everything that occurred during the first millennium.
Well,
and by the time we reached the year 1000 and started, having everything be a little bit more coherent and recorded, we'd already established a massive mythology that we still believe today, even though it has every appearance of being complete garbage.
Well,
You
of
know, that
course,
it was,
being black, our heritage and history and things that was stolen from my people. So we definitely understand how history has a way of making itself depending on
well,
who has the
a
power.
lot of people don't realize exactly how much of history um, is stolen. It doesn't matter what the color of your skin is. In all likelihood, a large majority of your history and your past has been stolen and appropriated by the people who currently rule the world.
I mean,
There's
it was
quite a bit of
stolen. It
evidence.
had to be stolen so that they can get the land that they own in order to rule. Because, you had to take the people out of position who rightfully supposed to have it in order for you to be able to run it. Because a lot of people
We
that own
basically have
land
a
didn't have the
government
knowledge.
that has ruled by theft for millennia. You know, that they rule based on how much they can steal and how thoroughly they can steal. People like to claim that, we've had, monarchies and aristocracies but the truth of it is that the entire history has been a kleptocracy. Who could steal the most from everybody else?
Who had the most muscle and the most brain to come up with the most magnificent scheme to pull off the heist.
And the thing is that these same people are trying to use these same tactics today, but they're not having the same effect because, unlike in the past, we've now got these communication systems that allow us to see what's going on in real time. So they can't do it and then, 200 years later, 300 years later, people start wondering about it. They do it, and 2 hours later, people are going, what the fuck just happened? And people are starting to catch on to this sleight of hand that they have been pulling for thousands of years. And it's been getting more and more pronounced as we progress, further in time. It's like I've been telling people, one of the things that we're seeing is these plans that they had made, that were centuries in the making. And they were inches away from completion. And now they appear to be falling apart because we can actually see what they're trying to do.
When they get done with this, it won't matter who see and who know. It's all going to be destroyed, set up for them to build this new world. It won't matter. You'll know.
I don't think they're going to manage it because from my perspective, they appear to have fallen off the cliff. And they're scrabbling, trying to grab a hold of a couple of strands of grass, to pull themselves back up on the cliff that they've already fallen off of.
From my perspective, seeing the things that they put into everybody and how everybody is sitting here set up like robots, then there's something real diabolical that they pulling off that's getting ready to shock the world. People already walking around like zombies.
You can see that the people are sitting around like robots is something that you were never supposed to notice.
I know.
The fact that you can notice that is evidence that their plans are failing. The veil that they have been hiding behind for thousands of years are shredding.
But I'm just one person that's broke. So me seeing really don't matter. I don't have a
I'm
whole
one
bunch of
person
tools.
who's broke too. I mean, I got no money. I got no job. I got told by SSI that they, that the fact that I can't even go to the grocery store without assistance doesn't mean that I can't work.
What?
So I'm at the point where, I'm having to do
Don't
my
mean you
appeal
can't
from
work.
SSI.
Oh yeah, most definitely do an appeal, because I mean, if you need assistance to go to the store, then even if you did have a job, you wouldn't be able to make no, you wouldn't be able to be on if you can't go to the store, how are you gonna be on a job to make a
Exactly.
living?
I mean, I could work if I could get a job where I could sit in front of a computer all day and do stuff. But I live on top of a mountain 50 miles from Chattanooga. And I don't have a vehicle, so I have no way to get down to Chattanooga, where there's a slight possibility that I might be able to find a job where all I have to do is sit in front of a computer all day.
Well, I'm gonna send you well, I know you're gonna do your appeal. You can go ahead and do your appeal. But I just got a whole list of work from home because I don't drive and I'm in Georgia too. So if you want, I'll send you that list for work from home too.
Well,
But
you
I know
can.
you
I'm just,
want to do your
I'd have
appeal
to check
because
with my lawyer to see whether I could actually do any of them, because I worry about jeopardizing my appeal.
I wouldn't do none of them, because we're sitting at the computer is just as bad as doing anything else, because you got to be on the schedule and stuff. They need to go in and give up that check. So all they're doing is making it to where you get a bigger lump sum. From what I know with SSI, is this your first appeal?
Yes.
Oh yeah, you got to fight one part. Yeah, they ain't gonna give it to you like that. I think you go through
Yeah, I
two
know.
appeals.
I was waiting for the first rejection, because I knew that that would at least mean that I was making some progress. So I'm not at all discouraged by getting rejected for my first time. I knew that was coming. I'm just annoyed that it took over a year to get to that point. But I know that the government moves slower than molasses in January. So at this point, it's my lawyer's going to have to file an appeal, and then probably a counter appeal, and who knows what else. But, they don't get paid unless I get paid. So,
Yeah, that's the big thing, right?
if they want their money, they have to get me mine. So,
And I don't think they could take a lot either with this type of case. I think they limit it to what they could take as well.
yeah, I think that they're limited to a maximum of like 30%.
That's still a lot.
Yeah, but 30% of nothing
That
is,
makes them work harder
yeah.
to get more.
The more they win, the more money they get. And I can survive, on $400 a month easy. I've been doing it for a decade. So even if all they manage to get is $400 a month for me, I can survive off of that. I've shown that I can survive off of that. I mean, not many people can. I've got a buddy who gets $1,200 a month, and he manages to blow it in the first week every month.
You said blow it.
Blow it, yes. He pays his rent, and he's having to pay because he always wants to try to get a car, and he always wants to try to get, things that he really doesn't absolutely need. He just wants. And he ends up not budgeting very well and spends all of it. And then, he's like, on disability and shouldn't ever have to work, but he's constantly having to get part-time jobs because he goes through money too quickly. And I just look at him and facepalm and go, you really need to learn to manage money better. I mean, I didn't have a choice about learning how to manage money because my ex was completely worthless when it came to that. You know, I'd get a paycheck, and by the time I picked up my paycheck at work and got home, she'd have spent it already.
Damn.
So I had to learn to manage money the hard way.
For real. As soon as you got before you get home, the check go.
Yeah.
Well, I had to learn how to manage money with having so many kids and limited funds.
Oh yeah.
But
You know,
I'm still working on it.
With me, I've become a master at finding things for free. You know, if you know I'm interested in something and I can't find a way to get it for free, I do without. So, you know, that's just the way my life has been for the past 20 some odd years. So,
Have you did any do you know anything about the smart desk?
doesn't ring any bells, no.
The smart
But,
desk is part of the desk that it it goes around the earth with all type of material in it. It's smart. It's smart desk. It's like it transforms into anything. You know, it's in the vents and the walls, messing with people's head. It's the smart dust.
oh,
And
dust.
yeah.
Yes, I know about smart dust. I'm actually quite well versed on nanotechnology. I've actually had debates with K.R. Drexler, who is the publicly acknowledged inventor of the concept of nanotechnology.
Oh man. So I'm gonna have to look that up because I've been noticing it, and I heard about it first through the Morgellons group. But I didn't believe it until I started seeing it for myself.
Well, what most people don't understand when discussing nanotechnology is that human beings are the finest example of nanotechnology on the planet. We are biological machines. Every cell of our body uses molecular machines to perform every function of our biology. You know, anyone who says that nanotechnology is impossible doesn't understand what biology actually is.
Mm-hmm.
The nanotechnology originally described by Drexler is problematic, but it was a rough idea for the possibilities. And most people don't realize that it was just, oh, this is the first thing that came to mind, not a polished and refined concept. What they have come up with since then in the public sphere is vastly more realistic than Drexler's original visions. But most people don't realize that the secret black ops and whatnot have had various types of nanotechnology for decades. Smart dust is just one of the simplest concepts. It's essentially based on a concept called utility fog by Joshua Storrs Hall, a scientist who I think works at UCA Berkeley. His idea was for a series of small robots that could combine like Legos into anything. Each one of these nanobots would basically have the ability to grab on to additional nanobots so that they could form a solid structure, or have the ability to tune their color by the use of wavelength antennas, so that they could perform as a video display, and they could communicate with one another, so that they could act as a distributed computer system. And basically, with these little foglets, the little particles robots, they could create a environment much like the holodeck that you see in Star Trek, where everything around you is actually a virtual construct made up of these little foglet bots, but it would look real, because it would be beyond the capacity of your eye to be able to notice that it's a projection.
Yeah, somebody was playing games with me like that in my last place, and I noticed it was like a hologram.
Yeah, you could basically live in a 10 by 10 by 10 box, and it would look as big as the entire world. You've heard of Doctor Who and the TARDIS, right? The box that's bigger on the inside than it is out. That's basically what you could have, a room that appears to be the size of the whole world, even though it's only a 10-foot cube. You could walk up to your little door, open it up, and rather than being a cube, a 10-foot square, you'd be in the Taj Mahal, or living in your favorite video game city, or suddenly find yourself transported to a little dome on the moon if you felt like it. And you could redefine where you were by just telling the nanomachines to reconfigure at a whim. And that way you could basically have a minimalist cube with unlimited space, because anything beyond the reach of your hands could be nothing more than a computer-generated image, and anything within the reach of your hands is just a simulated object. The chair you sit on is composed of these nanorobots. The table you set food down on is made of nanorobots. The food you eat is basically assembled by the nanorobots, and it doesn't matter what kind of food it is, since they can basically create the structure of the cells all the way out to, like the skin. They can make you a perfect apple, or they can make you a steak, or they can make you, any type of food you wanted to eat, because they'd be able to assemble it from individual atoms. And on the one hand, this would be wonderful for ensuring that every single person on Earth could have their own house with unlimited virtual space, but it could also be used to create virtual prisons where people are locked into, a hell-like reality, that they can never escape from. It has both positive and negative uses. And unfortunately, people seem to focus entirely on the negative uses and never ever want to look at the positive uses.
I guess it depends on how it's introduced to you, though.
Yeah.
And the knowledge that you have of it. Because if people using it for the negative, and also, using the cell phones and different frequencies to play with other people's head.
MK Ultra.
Yeah, that's part of it. But like I said, technology itself is neither good nor evil. It is completely neutral. It's
the
like a
people
gun.
controlling it.
You can use it, for hunting food in one situation, and in another situation, it's used to rob people
Yep.
or shoot people or kill or whatnot.
Yep.
It's like a hammer. You can use a hammer to build a house or to crush a skull. The tool itself has no agenda. It doesn't exist to be good or evil.
That's why they created the devil.
It just is. It's how
So
people
he could take
use it.
so he could
It's
take
how people use
responsibility
it.
for all they do.
Really? The devil made me do
that's
it.
what the devil is for.
To take the
To
blame.
absolve the individual of personal responsibility.
And
I didn't do it. The devil did.
And when it gets worse, you go to church and you get your blessing and you get absolved from the sins that you committed. But you're going to go do it again, ain't you? Because
And
the devil
then,
returned.
you get all the people who turn around and say, well, God, gave me the blessing to be able to do this and that and everything. And again, that's absolving yourself of any form of personal responsibility.
That's right.
You didn't do it. God did it. You didn't do it. Satan did it. You had no personal responsibility for anything.
But you pulled the damn trigger.
Yeah, you just are a puppet being pulled on somebody's strings.
It's time for me to get back on the screen. I gotta laugh because I'm sorry, people. I'm sitting here, Big Daddy. I'm cool. I'm sassy. I'm enjoying this shit because I've been listening to it while I was walking and while I was, flipping out a little bit out there. The truth is, people don't understand the one fact. Start with yourself, the person in the mirror. Look at that some bitch before you look at something else.
Mm-hmm.
But you're too scared to do that. So how can you absolve yourself or heal yourself when you can't look at yourself?
Most people don't want to acknowledge who they are. They want to believe in some fantasy version of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the reasons why, we have so many divorces. Because you have people who are getting together in a relationship based on this fantasy they have built up, around the other person.
The internet got their head twisted.
No. It started before the internet. Way before the internet it started. It started when people started making stories up about themselves.
Start learning to know the person that you're with, and you start realizing that the fantasy is radically different from the reality.
Ooh.
That's when you start getting all these people who are like, oh, well, I fell out of love with them. And it's like, no, you didn't fall out of love with them.
You never were.
You were never in love with them. You were in love with the fantasy of them that you built up in your head.
And then you start looking at Sigmund Freud.
Don't even get me started on Sigmund.
Oh, but he had that one right. Come on now.
No, I find Sigmund Freud
He was
quite delusional in his own way.
he was high all the time. We do know this, but the bottom line is this. At least Freud could say and admit his faults. But he did pass the blame on, to the thoughts of maybe it was my attraction to my mother or my mother's overwhelming experience upon me. Or maybe it was my father who beat me seriously. But you got to give the man his credit, though. I mean, he's the original. He was the original rapper.
I will admit that he did father psychiatry, but I think that his psychiatric thoughts were pretty fucked up.
I like Gestalt better, but I mean that's or Pavlov.
I think that the later psychologists like Jung
was
probably
good.
came closer than anything Freud did.
But then we learned later that it's mostly found in our genetics.
Are you guys on Facebook now?
We are everywhere. We're live.
All right, because I'm losing juice I'm gonna have to log off and charge up.
Well,
and
you
going
know,
on the
we
computer.
charge up. We got another
All right.
52 minutes, and we're going to run this one hard. So you can either juice it up. Go, girl. Juice it up, girl. Juice it up. Hey,
Thank you, Falky.
don't forget your don't
You're
forget
welcome.
your swimming neuters, nude swimmers. Kristen got you on that one. I'm sorry, I had to go there. But yeah, I mean, always remember something. You begin with point A to go to point B, but everybody leaves themselves out of point A for a reason. Because who you gonna blame for your faults, your defaults, and the growth? You gotta blame somebody for that growth. If it wasn't for this son of a bitch over here that stood in my way, I would have been hit by that car.
Well, I love my enemies because they push me into my greatness. Because without fury, you know what I'm saying, I wouldn't have pushed for anything else.
I love war. You know why? It solves all problems.
Everybody got an opinion. Thank you, Falky. I'm gonna be watching on after I log up, after I put the
Alrighty.
You'll be back.
Charger
I
on.
know you'll be
It
back.
was nice talking to you.
Hey, Valkyrie, I think you had
Yeah.
fun tonight. What do you think?
It was an interesting conversation.
I mean,
It's
come
always
on,
fun
Val.
to talk to new people.
Man, you know something? You actually have walked a person from point A to point B and not even realized how they've, you either showed them how to gather their shoes and pick up their belongings and put some clothing on their ass while showing them, guess what? You should have done that in the beginning. You shouldn't have been gathering, you should have been putting them on. See, people forget that the art of dressing is not just gathering the clothes. It's putting them on so you can walk out there. Because you don't want to be swinging dick or bare bone pussy. I had to say it, Valkyrie. It's the only way to say it. It's straight up truth. You know how we do it. But the bottom line is this.
You know,
If-
in my demonic form, I am a bit of an exhibitionist.
I know you are.
Yeah.
Show us those boobs. But the bottom line is simple. Oh, hold on. I cannot resist this. Valkyrie, like I said, where is it at? Make host. You can now show us some boobs. It's all yours. But the bottom line is, I have to say two great things about you, Valkyrie. And I had a guest, well, not I, Rowena and Emperor had a guest last night that went to a new ooh, shooky. Oh.
Yes, I have my fancy horns on tonight.
Oh, them platforms are high up. Go, girl.
Well, I will say that I can't stand up in this particular outfit
I bet you
because
can't.
I would not be safe for work.
Well, at least you won't bend over the sofa. Back to the point. The bottom line is we gotta have fun and we gotta enjoy what's we given. Because guess what? I hate to say
What?
it more the times than one, that we're gonna return, and we're gonna return, and we're gonna return, and we're gonna return. I think the fact is that the Hindus had it 100% right, which came before the Christians, which came before the Phoenicians. The Hindus had it right. We keep returning. And honestly, until you get off your psychological roller coaster, you're going to always return. My hope is to find my way beyond the return, beyond that loophole. The strategy of how to slip between those knots to join the collective once more. It's not about being in this place.
I have heard one piece of advice from a couple of different people. For after you die, absolutely positively do not go into the light.
No, you do not. In fact, they say stay away from the light. And the reason
The light is a lure
to return.
to trap you back into coming back right back here.
Well, the light is actuality this. You remember what we say about the brain shutting down, oxygen deprivation?
Hmm.
But nobody wants to talk about that, do they? Nobody
Yeah,
wants
there's
to
a very
say
good possibility that it's a physiological,
effect.
response to the oxygen leading to losing your eyesight,
Here's an
and the light
example.
is the final remnants of vision being translated by your brain as your eyes are,
Shutting down.
shutting down.
Right. It's the brightness. Has anybody been knocked the fuck out? What'd you see? A bright light. When she described herself as during the overdose, she was going down. Her eyes were closing. What did she see when her eyes closed? A bright light. Everybody says they see this damn bright light. You know what that bright light is? The same thing that my son experienced when he died. The brain shutting down.
Mm-hmm.
There ain't no pathway, no corridor, no... Listen, they even wrote this back in the time of the Sumerians. So what's new?
Well,
They wrote about
as
this.
a couple of different philosophers have said, there is nothing new under the sun.
There's nothing new under the sun, but maybe we can find somebody that can show us another direction or another way to approach this situation. I would love to.
As far as my advice is if you're, in the situation where you're looking at the light, turn left and keep walking.
Hell yeah, because I ain't going towards no light. I'd rather go towards peace. And peace is found in what? Complete darkness. Silence.
As I've told Penny a couple of times, I'm not even sure if I'm from this whole damn fucking universe.
You know something?
Because it is just way too fucked up for me.
Well, maybe you're just too smart for it. There are several people I've talked to over the years. I've experienced. Listen, I've been a host for almost a damn decade. Okay, I've gone through all the greats. I've torn them up too. I mean, me and Brad Olson have gotten in some serious battles on air, and to the point where Brad made me his co-host. So I mean, if that doesn't say nothing about my credibility, who cares? The bottom line is this. Me and Brad have the same perspective when it comes to death, dying, and the return. The ancient Hindus said that when you're dying, your eyes, your mind, your brain shuts down. In that moment of shutting down, the last glimmer of light comes from the body. It didn't say travel into that motherfucker. I mean...
Well, one of the things that the Hindus also say is that all of reality is an illusion. And from a scientific viewpoint, that is absolutely correct.
But is it a part of a matrix, is the question I'm going to ask. Because...
Of course it's part of a matrix.
But hold on.
I
want you to think about this now. Think about the word. We gave it a term. We called it the Matrix because of a movie.
No,
it was written during the time of a movie. It was written in a book.
In the Bible. That this is a matrix.
Okay, let's look in the Bible. Let me go look it up in the Bible right now. Because
I do think that it was described as a matrix, and the movie title was based on that concept.
Yes, but it was not called a matrix in the Bible.
The actuality appears to be that the universe is a hologram.
There we go. Holographic universe.
Everything that we are looking at is a
when was this remake?
Hologram.
Hold up, stop. We got a problem here.
That appears to be solid.
We got a problem here. Exodus 13:12. Thou shalt set apart unto the Lord all that openeth the matrix. Excuse me. That word could not have been conceived of back in because of two letters. Can we describe the letters? The TR and the X. Somebody rewrote it. Excuse me, no.
We've discussed how the Bible has been rewritten how many times?
Let me
40,000 some odd variations.
This Bible is 17th century.
shower.
You go take a shower?
I can't.
The Bible I have, and you know what Bible I'm talking about. I'm getting ready to go get out the closet. Keep talking, Valkyrie. It's 17th century.
Yes, one of the King James versions, and which was based on the Latin Vulgate, which is universally panned as the worst translation of the Bible in history. There's also the fact that even the sole reference to Jesus in any history book is that of Joseph Flavius, or Flavius Josephus, where it was talking. There was a single line talking about a rabbi named Jesus in Israel, and there's every evidence that that line was itself inserted at some point during the Middle Ages. So
go take a shower.
There's an overwhelming amount of evidence that a majority of our documents appear to have been modified or created, just whole cloth.
Stop.
Out of thin air when somebody needed one for a reference material or an article. One of the things that most people don't think about is, I believe it's in Nehemiah, how after the Babylonian captivity, the Jews had gone back to Jerusalem and were in the process of rebuilding the temple.
And they
And
hold on. Whose temple was
started,
it? Valkyrie, you got to tell them whose temple it was.
Well, supposedly it was the Temple of Solomon. And supposedly, during the reconstruction of the Temple of Solomon, they started rioting because they weren't happy with the work that they were having to do. And all of a sudden, Nehemiah miraculously finds the books of the Bible hidden away in a secret room in this destroyed temple, and uses it to encourage all of the Jews to go back to work on their suddenly manages to find them at just the right time, before all the Jews walk off in disgust. So this is something that seems to happen just a little too often in history.
Another fucking cut. Thank you. Just stay in here.
I got dogs battling in here. Now, Valkyrie, I'm going to my Bible.
Yes.
Exodus 13:12. Here we go. It says 15. Uh, 14, 13. It says 13. Hold on. It says 12, 25. I'm trying to get this. It says 13. And you see, everybody, this Bible is ancient. It's got the cross in the front. And it's huge. This is not the joke. Now, I'm going to go to it. Refix my damn pages thanks to these goddamn animals. Yeah, I said it. Exodus 13. Hold on. I'm in Leviticus. Exodus 13. Exodus 10. See, it's got Roman numerals. Can anybody, y'all out there read those motherfuckers?
I can.
I can. Exodus 13, 12, 12, 12, 13, 12, 10, and everything firstling, and every firstling of an ass thou shalt redeem with a lamb. And if thou wilt not redeem it, then thou shalt break his neck, and all the firstborn of man amongst thy children shalt thou redeem. nothing about the word matrix. Nothing about the word matrix.
As I've said, there's 40,000 different cataloged.
And this is the word of your God.
That's not the
You
word
know,
of my
the
God. That's the word of
supposedly
God's.
immutable, unchangeable,
God's.
you know, under the control of God to ensure that it is forever accurate.
Hold on. What is the matrix in King James Bible? Numbers 6, 18, 15. I'm going to go to Numbers now. Let's see if they got the word matrix in here. See, this is 17.
You have to remember
31.
that in ancient times, the word matrix was related to mathematical puzzles.
Thank you.
It's still the word that's in the Bible.
All right, where is it in this Bible then?
I say
This bird, this is the original. This is where it came from. This is the last edition that was ever created of the formal King James Bible.
I could care less.
Now all you do is talking about that, but you guess what? Show me in the Bible.
You already read it.
And I just read it and they ain't got it. All you showing me is what's modern. And which they use their translation, their terms, their ideology, their ways, their beliefs. Am I right?
Do you know what a matrix was in
Mathematical numbers that
ancient times?
they correlation
you know
to the stars.
you know what
that are
a magic square is?
It's a matrix.
It's a mathematical puzzle where every line and every column adds up to the
Rubik's
same
Cube.
number.
Rubik's Cube.
Yeah, basically, it's if you've ever played Sudoku,
Yep, that's the same thing.
Sudoku is a numerical
Numbers.
matrix.
Hold on, I'm going to Numbers now. Because, see, this Bible, for the people to see in the bottom of the page, is old. This ain't the joke that you got today that's been rewritten, reformatted, remade, remanded, recreated, re. No, this is not the Y2K plus 23 Bible. This is the last formal King James Bible. And I got one. So when people say in the Bible, all right, let's talk about this because I don't see it in my Bible. And if I have to rip my wrappers off to show you that the word matrix is not in the Bible, and that's a modern term.
Well, it's like how I pointed out before that in Leviticus, the priests are commanded to sacrifice a goat to the god of the desert, Azazel.
Right, Azazel. Yeah, I know.
And it's been removed from several modern translations.
And they still do. And we both know this. I mean, it's you know something? The problem that the people out here have is, like certain individuals, I like to bust motherfuckers. You know what I mean? You know me. You know how I do it, man. You know my down play. I'll bring out, if you're gonna bring out the Bible, I'll bring out the big book. Now, how many people see a Bible this thick except in a church?
Go on YouTube and look up 101 contradictions in the Bible.
And there's thousands of them. There's
Oh, yeah.
thousands of them. But people do not want to listen. They don't want to think. They don't want to do anything. They want to believe in their own bullshit.
And think about things like how was it Elijah or Elisha?
Oh my
But
God.
one of the prophets, you know, they talk about how a group of kids were calling him Baldy, so he called a bear out of the woods and had the bear eat them.
I mean, people don't
And this
realize.
was considered the act of a man of God.
Right. You're right. I mean, listen, people. I mean, you got your theologians out there that's going to quote you text by text, verse for verse. But you know something? When me and Valkyrie get together, we're going to end your bullshit. Listen, you don't want to go into a ring with me and Valkyrie. She gonna smack you with the tail, and I'm gonna upchuckle your ass with knowledge as well.
I mean, one of my favorites from the Bible that I keep pointing out to people that, it's something they have absolutely zero knowledge of, is when you ask them what the sin of Gomorrah was.
Yeah, what was the sin of Gomorrah, Valkyrie? Why don't you tell them the truth?
Well, according to Jehovah himself, in the book of Ezekiel,
It's written.
the sin of Gomorrah was inhospitality.
Inhospitality. You remember when the angels came by and the person went by the door and knocked? Sounds very Masonic to me. What do you think?
Yeah. But basically, he basically was criticizing Sodom and Gomorrah for being inhospitable.
Not about
For not
sexual
helping
relations
the poor
or
and the
anything
needy.
else.
And not, sharing their wealth with their neighbors and helping, everybody, but being greedy fucking bastards.
Oh, what a
Had
powerful
absolutely
God
nothing
you have.
whatsoever to do with being gay
Look. Oh,
or
what a powerful God
homosexuality
y'all
in any
have.
way, shape, or form.
Hey, come on, Valkyrie, let's do it. Oh, what a powerful God you have. He gets mad when somebody doesn't open the door. But you'll come out and lie and say it's about being gay. Y'all sick ass sons of bitches out there.
90% of people, if you ask them what the sin of Sodom was, they'll say, "Oh, well, it was a haven for gays and queers." And
No,
everything."
it was not.
No, it was a haven for people who treated their fellow men like shit.
Damn.
And Jehovah himself said this.
I'm knocking my door.
Just like most people don't realize that Jehovah claimed that he created evil.
Yes, it's written.
It is written in the Bible that Jehovah says he created evil. Not Satan, not the devil, not
Evil.
Lucifer, Jehovah. You're all kind, all loving, all beneficent deity created evil. Most people don't read their Bibles. And if they do read the Bible, they do it with religious blinders on, so that they don't have to see anything and actually admit how horrible it actually is. I mean, supposedly, all the firstborn in Egypt were killed, because Pharaoh was stubborn. They ignore the fact where it says, "And God hardened Pharaoh's heart," so that he refused the Jews their freedom, and then killed all the firstborn. They overlook God's orders to go into the lands of the Amalekites and slaughter every man, woman, and child, and take any girl who was a virgin as a sex slave for the Jews.
Mm-hmm. Hold on. Isn't that the original child trafficking?
I mean, they overlook anything that is inconvenient for their belief system from their own holy book. They overlook that, one of the stories talked about a man named Ehud, who is a hero of the Jews, for going to on a diplomatic visit to a king in order to try and broker peace, only to stab him to death when they met to parley.
Hold on. Does that sound like Caesar?
I mean, they overlook all of the criminality of the Jews all through the Old Testament. Because the Jews were Jehovah's chosen people.
Yeah, I wonder what Jehovah really is.
Well, if you get right down to psychological analysis, he's a monomaniacal, genocidal lunatic.
Oh, what a wonderful God you serve.
I mean, without his PR department, most people would realize that Joshua is a Jewish Hitler.
Yes. Yes.
I actually made that point once because I described somebody who committed genocide on a large scale based on a so-called blood fallacy of, where the people he was killing were, corrupted blood and a couple of other things. And at the end of it, I said, who was this person? And almost universally, people said Hitler. And I said, no, I was talking about Joshua.
Mm-hmm.
There's a story in the early books of the Bible about how Abraham and his sons during their, or no, not Abraham, Jacob, I think. The original, the 12 sons of Jacob.
Mm-hmm.
They were traveling around the Middle East, and they came to a town, and some of the men of the town expressed their desire to marry some of Jacob's daughters. So Jacob's sons basically told them, okay, well, this is allowable if you circumcise all the men in the town.
Big pimpin'.
So the men all got circumcised, and right after they got circumcised, when they were laying helpless in bed after having part of their dicks cut off,
Slaughtered.
Joshua's sons invaded the town and slaughtered all the men.
But if we don't want to talk about that story, no. That story cannot be true. It can't be in the Bible.
It is. Then there's a story about a man who took a wife and abused her so badly that she ran away to her mother's house.
Mm-hmm.
The man pursued her, took her out of her mother's house, started taking her back to his home, and along the way stopped in a Benjamite village. And while he was there, a gang of bandits came to the door wanting to rob him. And he threw his wife out the door and said, use her as you please, but leave me alone.
That's right. He's a real man.
Then the next morning, he steps out of the door over the corpse of his wife who has been raped to death, tells her to get up and follow him, and when she can't, because she's dead, he decides he's going to cut her body into parts, send it to the judges of Israel, and go, look what these horrible Benjamites did to my wife.
Doesn't it sound like the death of Osiris?
Doesn't it sound like a man of God to you?
Oh, wow. Yeah. You remember Osiris was cut
I mean,
multiple parts.
obviously, he was acting in accordance to Jehovah's will, right?
Oh, but the Lord save us and keep us and makes us whole. Oh, Yahweh!
I mean, then you've got the story of Rebecca
Oh, my God.
betraying, the city that she lived in so that the Jews could, put the entire city to the torch.
Hold on. And killing all men, women, and children. But Joshua broke the walls of Jericho.
And like I talked about, the story of, I think it's Judith, luring a general for the Philistines into her tent, getting him drunk, and while he was sleeping off being drunk, chopping his head off.
No, she didn't chop it off. She slit it very so gently.
There's another one similar where instead of chopping off her head, she stuck a spike through his temple. And these are, quote, heroes of the Jews.
Well, hold on. Now, if you look at the heroes of the Jews, you might as well go to book 2 of the Bible, the New Testament. Oh, I'm sorry, the book 2 of the Old Testament. They're all written by the same people anyway. I mean, come on, people. Y'all been smoking that much ganja, you ain't figured it out.
Well, they were compiled into the Bible as we know it by the Council of Nicaea.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And
So we should have just ran it together.
These books were considered canon based on the work of the early church father. I believe it was Theophilus. Was his name?
Yes.
And he basically said, no, these books are what should be considered the actual canon of religious books, and everything else was, tossed out.
I'm taking the dogs out for a minute.
And this guy, Theophilus, was also responsible for the sacking and burning of the Library of Alexandria by the Christians, centuries before the Muslims finally destroyed it for good. Oh, and I remember the name of the guy that against Celsus. It was Origen. He was one of the early church fathers. And everything we know of Celsus comes from his defense against Celsus. Where he tried to defend Christianity against the accusations that Celsus was making. But yes, you've got a history in the Christian religion of genocide, murder.
Believe, brother. They don't believe you, man. Hey, Valkyrie, they don't believe you, man. You know what the problem is? They stuck in belief. Hey, listen,
Exactly.
how about
They're
this?
wearing religious blinders.
That UFO flops down on the ground. They gonna say, "Oh God, I hope they bring back Elvis."
They've got a pair of glasses on that prevent them from seeing anything except through the focus of their faith. They can't see things without these, holy tinted glasses. That this is good and this is right. And no matter how atrocious it is, it's holy because, this is what God said to do. The Jews throughout the Old Testament are completely underhanded in much of what they do. They lie. They trick allies into, traps and slaughter them. They treat everybody else as if they are absolute scum.
Hold on.
But that's because,
Christians.
they're the holy people, and this is just what you do to anyone who's not Jew.
Oh, you know something? You're telling a fabrication, my brother. We Jews, we love you. Non-Christian Jews, non-Jews. You son of bitches. You're no better than the Islamics. You know what we do with Islamics? We slaughter them. What do Islamics do with the non-Islamics? They slaughter them. Doesn't that sound like a whole entire belief system gone awry?
No, it sounds like a belief system completely normal. The Jews pretty much, the whole Bible basically, says love one another, but, slaughter the infidels.
Well, who's the
Same
infidel?
thing
Isn't it
in the
same the thing the
Quran.
Islamics say?
Anyone who does not believe in the God that you believe in is an enemy and should be destroyed. That's what all of the Abrahamic religions basically say. The words are prettied up, and the concepts are, hidden in euphemisms, but that's basically what it comes down to. If they don't believe exactly like you do, kill them.
Those are infidels, right?
Yeah. Kill the heretics. You've got to eliminate anyone who does not believe the purer faith. We've had some of the worst and most atrocious, events in history have all been based on Christian beliefs. The Crusades, where
Christian beliefs instead of truth.
have you ever heard of the Children's Crusade?
Oh, yes. No, hold on. I'm sorry, Valkyrie. We haven't heard of the Children's Crusade. Will you please explain how the Children's Crusade went?
The Catholic Church basically got something like 10 or 20,000 children to form up into a child's army to go and conquer the Holy Land because children were so pure, and not one of them even made it to the Holy Land before they were captured and sold off into child slavery.
Hold on. Did you say the children were sold into slavery? Was it the Islamics that took the children and worked the hell out of them and married their little daughters?
Yes.
Oh, what a
But not
beautiful
all the
life that
Islamics.
was.
A lot of these so-called Christian nations, participated in the wholesale capture and, selling off of these kids.
How did he, hey, Valkyrie, let's just get down to the bottom line. Why are these people sitting here telling us how to live our lives, what to do, what to believe, how to believe, and they...
Because the rest of us, as decent human beings, haven't massacred them yet.
I'm going back to my statement. You people are that stupid to believe the word matrix existed in the Bible? How about Statue of Liberty? Is that in the Bible too? How about, let's try another word that should be in the Bible. Let's look for the word, Sporozora. Is that in the Bible?
I'm not even sure that's in the dictionary.
Okay, how about this word? How about Neo? Is Neo in the Bible?
Well, the word neo basically means new. So there's a possibility it might have been in one of the various language versions. But if you're talking about the character Neo from the Matrix, no.
Yeah, I was looking for him in the Bible, man. I mean, I'm sorry. To believe that the word matrix was written in the Bible is absurd, and you people are stupid.
Well, you've got to remember, Daryl, that there's a whole group of people out there who think that there is a numerical code in the Bible which...
Oh, they watched that movie, didn't they?
Which completely predicts the future.
Yeah, they watched that movie.
Up to the end of the world.
Yeah, they watched that movie, didn't they? That man made billions of dollars off you dumbasses.
The Bible Matrix, yeah.
Yeah, they were. What was
but
that?
I mean, it's...
Tom Hanks was in it. What's his name? What was that movie?
No, that was the Da Vinci Code.
Yeah, that's that one too. It's the same thing. I mean, they got codes in the Bible and shit. You know something? How about this? Won't you people want to live your own lives? Live it to the best you can. Hopefully you don't return. But more so,
Because people don't want to take personal responsibility.
there we go back to the beginning of the damn conversation, huh?
People want to avoid accountability.
They want to talk about that UFO and that and being in multiple dimension and all that shit, right? Talk about dragons and
Everybody wants to find some way that, they can avoid being responsible for their own actions. Whether it's religion, whether it's politics, whether it's conspiracy theory, it doesn't matter. Everyone is looking for a way out of taking personal responsibility. Oh, such and such made me do this. Oh, this is the fault of this and that, and not because of anything I did. I went through 12 years being an abused spouse because I made some stupid fucking decisions, of who to get together with.
yes, I was a mermaid, Valkyrie. Believe me, I was a mermaid in my past life in this alternate dimension where I was swimming in the ocean and flying with wings. I was from the mermaid universe. Yes.
You'd be an ugly mermaid, Daryl. Mermaids are supposed to be pretty.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm from that universe, so what you gonna say now?
You would look more like a Lovecraftian old one.
Okay. Well, look. Me and Aquaman were best friends. Actually, he was my third cousin, once removed.
You ever read Shadow over Innsmouth?
You know something? I started that book years ago. I never finished it.
Well, you can find it an audiobook reading of it on YouTube. Look for a YouTube page called Horror Babble, and you can find every Lovecraft story being read in audiobook format.
I love H.P. Lovecraft. You know that.
In Shadow over Innsmouth, there are a group of people called Deep Ones, who are basically creatures from the Black Lagoon type stuff.
It's
You'd
mythical,
be great as
okay?
one of those.
Hold on, stop. Let's make sure the people don't steal it and try to make it one of their, universal beings that they communicate with. This is a book.
It's too late for that, Daryl.
They've already used that one too?
There are people out there who believe the Cthulhu mythos is completely true. So
Oh my God.
It's far too late for that.
Who drank from the goblet that Jesus drank from at the when he was up in the upper room with his 13 disciples, because the rest of them ran away from his ass because he was actually feeding them blood.
Well, hell, most people don't even realize that the act of mass is symbolic cannibalism.
It is cannibalism. Because back in the older days, they used to have real blood, and real flesh of a child.
The whole concept of transubstantiation is that by eating the wafer of bread they call the host, it actually transmutes into the actual flesh of Christ, and by drinking the wine, it actually transmutes into the blood of Christ. So therefore the entire, celebration of Mass is a cannibalistic ritual.
Yes, it is. So you might as well go out and just go do the real thing, right? I think we're feeding them too much.
I don't think I would taste very good, Daryl. I don't really want to end up on somebody's dinner table.
It tastes like chicken.
Actually, from what I hear, it tastes like pork.
Oh.
That's why some of the voodoo religions called humans long pigs.
Yeah, you're right. Damn. You know something, Valkyrie? How about this? You started early at night. I want to take a break and get some rest. How about this? Your show tonight that you wanted to do, let's do it tomorrow. If you have the time.
I've got nothing but time, Daryl.
Well, it's
So
time
if you want to do that, I can.
it's time to
we
break
can-
these
we
people's
can-
hearts and minds and bring them
We
into
can actually
reality.
deal with more of the subject matter tomorrow.
Yeah, because it's a lot to eat, as I said. Damn, did I say that? It's a lot to eat.
Well, I don't have any corpses to go devour, so I've
That's
already
okay.
had dinner tonight.
It's okay. You know what we can always do? We can always go find that bird, that fowl, or that young kid to snack on. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm sorry. I prefer warriors, but you know something? A fresh young child is always better on a plate than in a cup. Ask the queen.
Well, I always recommend you serve them in an ice cream sauce. So
I like the nice clam chowder sauce, you know, or a nice chowder sauce. Chowder sauces too, very good, you know that.
Anywho,
Yeah.
as far as I know, I'm not doing anything tomorrow night. So
Okay, so let's say since your topic is barbecue Johnson, BQ Johnson. So, all right, so in more ways than one, tonight was just an exhibition match with
tonight was just let's have a conversation
yeah.
and chit chat.
Yeah.
So tomorrow we'll actually do a show.
Oh my God! I mean, if this chit chat was the beginning of World War III, I hate to see what the show's gonna be like.
I don't think this was all that dramatic a chat.
Yeah, it was. You know why? Because I bet you the hundreds upon hundreds just balled off and ran after we started smiting the shit out of their whole belief system. You like that shit.
Well, I view almost every belief system as being completely manufactured in order to promote the rule of self-serving individuals. So
Yeah.
I don't really care one way or the other.
Oh, you know something? You're such a nice, wonderful person. So what we're gonna
I'm a
do is
demonist, Daryl.
we're gonna call some gin out, and y'all can have a party with a bottle of gin, and enjoy the fact that you know these people have lost their bleeding minds. And I gotta
Well,
say
the whole
something.
world has basically lost its friggin' mind, Daryl. At least in my opinion. So, what's new?
Yeah, what's new? And I got to give daps to my boy Arkham Raw Wood. Bro, you look happy, man. That picture, and I'm glad you're now in a relationship, and I'm glad that you've found someone that can be as zany as crazy as you are, brother. Yeah. I just love it when good people
Alrighty.
get together. So, Valkyrie, it's that time. You know what you have to say. Hold on, let me dun 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 dun.
Good night, Valkyrie.